All right, guys. Market is up today. All right. Mm. We're awake. Lower, higher than expected will make the market go higher. So lower is better sports most of the time, but it varies. It's not like a given thing. It's not something that we know for sure what the market's gonna do. Delta earnings, target earnings. We also got a couple other earnings reports today. Uh, all right, guys. Sorry, I'm looking at old music. But yeah, PPI inflation data comes out today. Let's talk about it. Expectations for that are for data comes out today on the 13th, as well as some other earnings reports dropping today. I believe it's Delta Target. No, it's Delta Pepsi today. Uh, but yeah, PPI is expected to show up at 0.2%. Jobless claims expected to show up at 250K. What about jobless claims today too? Yeah, so PPI inflation and jobless claims coming out today. I forgot about that. All right, so we want to get rid of some of this. Let's see. we go. So yeah, jobless claims, PPI inflation data, bank earnings matter more than any other industry this quarter. I disagree. I disagree there. I think AI stocks are going to influence the market heavier than bank companies. Today we got Delta coming out at 6:30, so that's in about 15 minutes. Pepsi at 6 a.m. So Pepsi already dropped. Pepsi came in. Pepsi showed Pepsi showed 199 EPS for the second quarter versus 103 a year ago. Trying to see what they expected. So Pepsi showed 199 versus 195 EPS, 2.75 billion in sales versus or 2.75 billion in net sales. Revenue came in at 22.32 versus 21.7. So Pepsi did better than expected on everything, basically. They also raised their fiscal year outlook as well. So Pepsi already dropped theirs. We do have Delta coming out in about 15 minutes. Get that trash taken care of. Yeah, lurking. I had to go to the dump, which is really not that bad as long as I don't get like a flat tire. I've been there before. I've had to go there before, but yeah, I had to go to the dump. So yeah, we went. We got it done. It's all good. All right, guys. So yeah, look at Meta, man. Meta up to 315 here. Spy still trying to move. Spy gapping up today as well at 447. So let's see if we can potentially hit 450 today. It's possible we do. Tesla down a little bit. It looks like. Let me see. Yeah, so Tesla is. Oh no, Tesla's up. Yeah, Tesla's up really nicely. It's at 274s, almost 275s. When it closed, it looks like it closed at about 272 or so. So Tesla gapping up as well. Gold is up as well. So gold is doing a little bit better too. But yeah, that is the market right now. We still got our little small position in Pfizer that we're taking advantage of. Yeah, I don't know, man. Sports poker guy. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I think banks are important, but I think the banking system issues were a small blip in what happened, and they were pretty resilient. They ended up being okay overall. I think one of the things that we've seen that the rest of the market is looking at and watching more so than banks is we've seen AI stocks have like crazy parabolic runs over the last 6 months because of AI. The PE ratios for some of these big AI companies are incredibly inflated right now, which is considered by a lot of different people to be incredibly inflated. And so with that, AI stocks are going to be the interesting one, as well as like Tesla. But bank earnings are certainly going to be relevant, and they drop this Friday. So bank earnings all come out this Friday. So tomorrow we have bro, earnings whisper sucks, dude. They're so laggy and they don't work. Tomorrow we have JP Morgan, United Health, Citigroup, Wells Fargo, BLK, State Street, and Ericsson all dropping tomorrow. So those are very relevant for market stuff. All right. United Health. I am trading on Moomoo. Yeah, let me figure out a poll to do here. I am trading on Moomoo, the platform called Moomoo. There's a couple different reasons I like it, but it's just a cool platform, man. I'll put if you want to check it out, you can get up to 16 free stocks if you open. Here's the link if you want to check it out. You deposit over 100, you get 5 free stocks. You deposit over 1,000, you get 15 free stocks. You deposit over 5K, you get 16. You get an extra share of Google or Tesla, and I got Tesla. But there's the link. It's a little bit early for a plug, but somebody's asking, so I'm going to put it up and then pin it to the top of the chat. Just because early is when I typically trade on Moomoo, because I can trade on Moomoo early. Meta 8 tweeters. Yeah, Meta flying. Wait, so what's with this public debate on whether Margaret Robbie would be considered mid? You know, and that's a slang term that I joke around using with my daughter. Just because I joke around, I'm like, yeah, Maddie, this is mid. And my daughter looks at me horribly and says, never say that again. And so I just kind of troll my daughter using the word mid. But apparently young people actually use that non-sarcastically. But people are saying Margaret Robbie is mid. Bro, look, I'm married, okay? And so, you know, but Margaret Robbie is pretty attractive. You know what I mean? Let's just be real here for a second. We can't act like she's not. I mean, we can. I guess it's subjective. But let me know what you guys think in chat. Had my hip replaced on Monday, up early. Oh, Ricky, man. Good morning, bro. Hope you're doing okay, dude. I see what you're saying about AI. Just my opinion. Investors, traders of these companies seem to care about news, not earnings. I feel you, man. Listen, again, we can agree to disagree. These traders certainly care about earnings. They're definitely going to be watching like NVIDIA, AI, C3 AI is what I mean by AI. NVIDIA, C3, Microsoft, Palantir. They're going to be watching a lot of big earnings, to be honest, man. And so that is coming up soon, and it's something that you want to watch. Bank earnings will be relevant, but bank earnings are going to be morning earnings for the most part. They're going to drop in the morning. I don't think they're going to have like a super influence. They're going to influence the market without question, you know. But it's also something that we just got to watch and wait and see. Is this music too much this early, bro? Sounds like Skrillex. How good was Pepsi earnings? Pepsi earnings were good. They weren't great. The EPS was pretty neutral, but they came in better than expected for EPS, better than expected for sales. It was a slight beat on those. They did raise guidance, so overall Pepsi earnings were good. They did raise their guidance, and so here's Pepsi here. And I'd assume they're gapping up, and yeah, they are. They're gapping up from about 184s to about 187s. So Gap it up a couple percent on their earnings report, as they should be. This is a pretty good beat. They did better than expected on everything and raised guidance, and so that's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I'm married, so, but Margaret Robbie's, attractive, and so, I mean, the internet can pretend she's not for whatever reason they're trying to, but. All right, guys, SPY up to 447s. Any thoughts on Disney? Bounce off lows now at pre-market. I'm saying, man, look at Disney, just loving life right now, all the way up to 91.50s. Yeah, I mean, all I'm gonna say is, I told you so. Anytime Disney hits the 80s, man, it's a very easy dip buy for me. It's a very, very easy dip buy. It's something that I do pretty regularly. If you haven't watched the stream, I do it pretty much throughout the year, pretty consistently. Because again, if Disney hits freaking 80s, it's pretty easy dip buy. It really is. I mean, it's just a pretty easy dip buy. And it's something that we're green trading these swing trades. Like, people can hate and they can try to hate on like what I do in trading, but like, regardless of day trading or anything about it, my swing trades are on point and they just work. Like, my swing trades are just, for lack of a better word, accurate. They work well. Now, I'm not going to say they're going to continue to work well, but yeah, I had to bring the trash to the dump, unfortunately. But either way, I'm pretty pumped about it. I am up so far in my account about 2% in my Moo account since I started it a couple weeks ago. We're up about 2%. I'll take it. And let me see what we're actually up. Oh no, wait. Yeah. So we'll take it up a couple percent in the account. I'll take it. Here is my swing trading graph. If you guys want to look at it. This is my profit graph on Moo. One of the nice things about Moo is that it shows the profit graph. Yeah, yesterday I forgot to take the trash out, Shepard, and my mom had stayed at my house while we were gone in Michigan. So like, my mom had stayed here. And so with that, my mom stayed here, and it's my fault, really. I forgot to tell her what day the trash went out. So she put it out on the wrong day. And she didn't get her that she was here. Now you mix that with when we got back, yesterday was trash day, and we were here for about a week, and we missed it. I missed it. Honestly, I tried to take the trash out. I tried to take it out yesterday. But Carol, one of the reasons I kind of got frustrated with Carol is because I tried to take the trash out yesterday before Carol's dad got here. Carol's dad got here the day before yesterday. And I tried to take it out then, like I tried to take it out before he got here. But she was like, no, wait until he gets in and gets inside. I don't want him seeing all these bags. Because she thought like having so many trash bags looked bad, when really it was like, it's an honest mistake. Like my mom took the trash out on the wrong day. And then, so like we just had a bunch of extra trash. And we have tags that we can put out it, but it kind of looked bad. So Kira was like, no, wait to take the trash out when I was trying to. And so then I didn't. And then I missed it yesterday morning. And so then at that point, we had like 12 trash bags that were just kind of sitting outside my front door. And instead of leaving that by the street for a week until our trash comes, I just drove it up to the dump yesterday and tossed it. Done, Yeah, Pepsi, great numbers. Pepsi just dropped their numbers, did really well. I don't know. I don't think they did 209. I think they did. Pepsi showed. Oh, they did do 209. Yeah, you're right. So yeah, here's the Pepsi numbers right here. Better than expected on everything. And they also raised guidance. So we'll include that in here. Yeah, they did great. That's great for Pepsi. They did good. Yeah. Trying to figure out if Disney put in a good double bottom, if it's forming a descending triangle on daily from February to now. Yeah, I mean, Disney looks great. And again, I mean, I'm telling you, my swing trades, they just work well, man. They just work well. And I think if you guys saw my long-term TD Ameritrade graph, y'all would be pretty impressed with it too. Now, some of these are deposits, and so it's not all profits trading or whatever. But like, check me out. Let me figure out a way. Like, here is my long-term graph on TD Ameritrade back to January of 2020. That is my long-term graph. I did withdraw some money here. So I did withdraw some money here. That's where that big drop was. I'm pretty sure that's what this big drop was too. But yeah, that's my long-term TD Ameritrade graph. It's pretty solid, actually. I'll take it. All right, guys. PPI inflation data. Hey, what's up, America? What's the next resistance for Disney? I'm not sure. I'll probably look to buy another dip if it pulls back some, but I just gotta wait. All right, guys. Earnings. Also, vote on the poll here. We're going to do a poll right now. Vote on the poll. Does PPI inflation data come in higher or lower than the, 0.3% expectation? What is the expectation for PPI? It's PPI is expected to show up at 0.2%. Jobless claims expected at 250. 250,000, that is. 0.2%. Does PPI inflation data come in higher or lower than the 2% expectation? We got three options: higher, lower, as expected. Vote on that poll. Let us know what you think, how you feel about PPI inflation data. Again, PPI is a little bit more, I'll be honest, PPI is a little bit more different than, say, CPI in terms of reactions. Like, we don't get as obvious of a reaction. Adam Aaron saying, quote, sadly, conspiracy theories are so prevalent in America, so much garbage info spread, more than 1 million people have watched. Yeah, but again, the crazy part about this, the super, super ironic part about Adam Aaron complaining about conspiracy theories is that the whole reason the AMC stock is even propped up right now is because of a bunch of garbage conspiracy theories from people looking to grow a following online, pandering to new, naive, young traders that don't know any better, pretending that there's all these conspiracies when there's not. That's the ironic part about Aaron over here. You know what I'm proud of? You know what I'm really proud of? Is that, like, I've been watching Zach Staples. Or not Zach Staples. Poker Staples. What's his name? Jamie Staples. And his brother, I think, is Zach. But I've been watching Jamie and his brother play poker on YouTube for years. And honestly, I started my channel right around when I started watching Poker Staples, you know, and like my channel has effectively moved past his in terms of views, in terms of subscribers. I'm at 111K. He is roughly at 97K. So we started the channel, and it's really cool to look at because, like, I'm a big fan of Jamie Staples, you know, but like we have grown faster than him, and I'm proud of that. He's a great. Go subscribe to Jamie Staples. Poker Staples is the name of his channel. Great channel. All right, guys. Pepsi up. Oh, man, we did have Delta Airlines, right? Delta Airlines drops their numbers. What did they come out as? Delta, DAL. Delta ended up showing 268, beat the 239 estimates, revenue of 15.6 billion, operating revenue of 14.61 billion. All right, so here is the Delta numbers here. Delta Airlines is out. Check out their numbers right here. Delta dropped their numbers. Yeah, generally simplicity is the honest, is the truth, right? So generally, in terms of conspiracy theories, especially with stocks, the simplest answer is usually the right answer. Um, Again, so with AMC, them saying, "Oh well, AMC and the big man are just keeping them down." Like, think about it objectively. Why would the hedge funds unreasonably target AMC? Right? Like, why would they just have it after AMC? It's not like AMC goes against their ideologies. Like they line up pretty much together. So in that regard, like, why would the hedge funds just pick on a company? They're not. Like, they're just looking for weakness, and they see weakness in AMC and they target that. But saying it's you know what I mean? Like, it's just, at a certain point, you got to call a spade a spade. And I think there's just a lot of people who are so desperate for it to be true because they've put so much money and energy and time into it, and they've, you know, that I think it's hard for them to let go of. Rip and dip on Delta. Yeah, what has Delta done? Here's Delta right here. I'm thinking about just putting 2 charts up instead. Would 2 charts be preferable here, guys? Let me know. Would you rather 2 charts up instead of just 1? Because it might be easier to see. Here's Tesla. Their ideology is making money. Yeah, hedge funds' ideologies are making money for sure. Meta to $400 after earnings? Maybe, man. Honestly, we'll see. I hope we get some interesting action there. Meta flying up at 315s right now. But yeah, Delta dropped their numbers. They popped up, and now they're pulling back. Meta up to 315s, which is just a crazy run for a stock right now. 2 charts. Would you guys rather current chart setup? If you'd rather the current chart setup, press 1 in chat. If you rather 2 larger chart setups so you can actually see them more clearly, press 2. So press 1 for current setup, press 2 for the larger chart setup in chat. All right, so we got 1 vote for 2. End phase. Delta and all the tropical stocks are finally moving back to pre-levels where they may be beating expectations. 2, 2, 1, 3. Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. 1. All right, well, we need more votes to tell, really. Again, 1 if you want to keep the current setup. 2 if you would rather 2 larger charts so you could see them more clearly set up. SPY is up today, though. Look at the SPY. Up to 447.50s. Retail trading is a small fraction of overall trading, like 5 to 10% too. Yeah. All right, so I think most people are going to go with 2, and I think 2 is a better option. It's just going to be easier to see than having all these other small charts up. I think just putting this all the way in the corner like this, and then just doing this right here, where we just extend this to the right. We make it just bigger so we can see a lot more of this, like this. I think that's going to be a lot better for just overall analysis and like y'all's view. About that. That's much better, I think, right? That's going to be where you can actually like see what's going on. But yeah, there's Meta right here. Here's the SPY on the left. SPY's been moving up over the last few days. But yeah, I think that's much better. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I figured this would be better. All right, we're going to stick with this. I'm going to save this. Yep. There we go. The Dixie falling? Yeah. Well, the dollar index is moving down because the market itself is moving up, and generally there's an inverse correlation. When the market moves down, the dollar index goes up. Do you know crypto coins related to Meta? No, not particularly. I'm not saying there isn't any, but I don't know any of them. Alec Torelli. Day 6 of the WSOP main. Honestly, I really wanted to be in it this year. All right, so yeah, you can kind of see here. This is a really interesting thing right here. So like, look at this post. This is U.S. inflation rates year over year change, and you can kind of see. So for people saying inflation is not getting better and prices aren't going down, I've had a lot of people argue that on the bear side, but I want people to understand, like, I've covered all of these things. We've covered CPI from this date to this date. So for the last year straight, we've covered every CPI report. You can see the decline. Okay, so like CPI year over year change in June 22, it was 9.1%. 9.1, ridiculously high. Again, gas prices were sky high. In my area, they were like $6 a gallon, just ridiculously high. July 2022, 8.5%. August, 8.3%. September, 8.2%. October, 7.7%. November, 7.1%. December, 6.5%. January, 6.4%. February, 6%. March, 5%. April, 4.9%. May, 4.0%. June, 3.0. And then again, we'll see what we get the next one. But consecutive declines for a full year straight. That is why inflation is getting better. That's why the market's pushing up so much as it is. We are back in a bull trend for sure. Yeah, Threads is doing well. Yeah, I hope so, Larkin. Yeah, it's my bucket list dream. I want to be in the WSOP main. Somebody asking, do I make money in poker? I've mostly made money, but it varies. I've got a bunch of different accounts everywhere, so like some of them I haven't, some of them I have. I haven't had to really deposit much over the years, and I'm not a big gambler, so it's not something that I necessarily like gambling. It's not like I don't ever take my money and go play like blackjack or roulette with it or something dumb. I usually just kind of stick to poker. Yeah, the whole market was flying the last couple of days. SPY was pretty flat, but today in pre-market we're gapping up nicely. Disney pumping up to 91.50s. 91.50s for Disney. So we got some alerts. Is this music not good? Let me go back and go to the old music, man. It doesn't sound that good. All right, but PPI inflation data. If you don't know what PPI is the other side of the inflationary coin. CPI is consumer price index. PPI is the producer price index. So it is the level at which it is producers instead of consumers. CPI is for buyers, PPI is for sellers, is the easiest way to put it. And again, what I will say is that this report typically has less influence, has a less predictable influence over the market, right? So where CPI is pretty obvious to say, like CPI comes in low, it's pretty likely that the market's going to come in hot and bounce from that. If CPI comes in higher than expected, it's pretty likely the market's going to correct and pull back a little bit. With PPI specifically, it's not really like that. Like a lot of the time we'll get low PPI and the market will drop, and a lot of the time we'll get high PPI and the market will drop. We just don't know as much. It's not as easy to predict, to be honest. So in that, you got to just be smart with it and just stay safe, Typically, we want it lower than expected. Lower than expected is good. John, how come you don't play in the WSOP 10K tourney in Vegas? Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. It's called the WSOP main event. It's the biggest poker tournament of the year. It's a $10,000 buy-in. And I wanted to go, and I had the money to go this year, but we were traveling. Like the only hiccup in it is, like, if you guys know, like, we've been traveling for like a month straight. Like, we went to the beach, we stayed there, we got home. My son was sick for a week, and then he got better. And then as soon as he got better, we left and drove to Michigan. 2-day trip driving. We stayed there for 2 weeks. We came home. The whole thing took like a month of work. And if we weren't traveling so much, I probably would have done that WSOP. But it is like a poker dream of mine. Yeah, it's pretty likely they're going to raise, Andre, just based off of Jerome Powell's tone, regardless of inflation, right? So it's very likely that the Fed's going to raise rates again this next cycle, which is going to be in about 2 weeks from now on the 26th, I believe, the 26th for the FOMC meeting. So yeah, but it's pretty likely they're going to raise rates regardless of the inflation data. So yeah, it's something that, like, it's pretty likely. Now, how much? What? It's probably going to be 25 basis points. But again, regardless of the inflation rate, it's pretty likely they're going to raise rates. And I think that's the right move. I think a lot of it is going to depend on what banks and other stuff do leading into it, though. So we still got some time, but yeah, it's pretty likely. Do me a favor, guys. Bump that like button. Let's try to get that like count up to over 100 if we can. I track all my expenses. Current grocery spend is up 19% to 2020 pre. I don't care that inflation is growing slowly. 2 to 3% of all expense for consumers is still very high. Yeah, for sure. Groceries are certainly high. Do you think the current run-up is still overbought? That is a correction will happen. Indeed, prices are still way high. Yeah, I think I'm not sure at this point. For a while, I was thinking we were extended just by how much we pushed up, but the market seems to be pretty resilient, and just continues to head up. I think we could just keep pumping and break highs. But again, I think the earnings season that sparks off this week and next week is going to be the big influence. So, like, earnings season is big, and it's going to wildly influence everything. So, in that regard, we're going to be watching AI stocks, bank stocks for the next earnings report, and that'll be a real interesting tell to see what happens. I mean, it's bad, but it's closer to 2% than 8%. Yeah. What I hate about tourney poker is how you can play and then you go deep and get a bad beat all in ace-ace versus 8-8. Yeah, there's also a luck element to poker. I mean, poker's skill, but it's also luck. Like, there's variance is the easiest way to put it. And variance is there with anything. It's there in trading as well. But in poker, 10K is it's a tough beat, but it is what it is, I think, like, if I ever participate in the WSOP main event, which is a dream of mine to do, and I finally make enough money to where, like, I could pretty reasonably pay for that. But I think if I go into it, I'm going to have to go into it with the understanding that I'll probably lose. Like, I'm going to be confident. I'm going to visualize and everything, but you also have to set yourself up with understanding that you might lose, because you don't want to go in there thinking you're just going to win, and then when you don't, you're going to be just heartbroken. And I'll probably be heartbroken anyway if I don't win, or if I don't cash. But, we'll see. Carvana. The Qs might end up plus 100 end of the year. Yeah, man. Again, I've been telling people the market could run, like, they'll never admit it, but a lot of the people telling me the market was imminently going to crash over the last 6 months will probably never show their head here again, I think. It's very typical of people on the internet to where I'll be like, hey, the market could crash. Or I'll be like, hey, the market's probably not going to crash, or the market doesn't have to crash, and it's certainly not going to crash imminently. And they can argue with me and call me names and say I don't know what I'm talking about and say all this different stuff. And then whenever it turns out that I was right, when you look back objectively over what I've said versus what has happened in terms of market over the last 6 months to a year, really, y'all know I've been right, man. I literally said exactly this, which is that the market didn't have to crash. The market could very easily run, that we have already pulled back, and that the market could push up to highs. And that's exactly what we're doing. And again, it doesn't matter anything right now because earnings season is going to be the big potential move of the market with AI and bank earnings coming out. Yeah, I know Disney's at 91.50. Hey, you love to see it. I mean, you can. I'm not saying that. I don't know if that's a good idea, bro. Shorting the market. I mean, you could try. Yeah, I don't know if that's the right move. And again, we'll see if the SPY holds here, man. Look, here's the SPY right here. What is it about you try to type in NQ when TradingView, it doesn't work. Yeah, here's the SPY right now. SPY's gapping up nicely at 447.50s after positive CPI data. CPI came in low, man. I'm for it. I'm happy about it. All right, guys. It is 6 a.m. Gold looks super strong now. Gold hasn't really done that much. Gold has kind of corrected some, you know. So like gold, it tried, but it hasn't really done too much. I know it was up. Gold was up more earlier and then yesterday, and then it's just kind of down some today. Yeah, Disney finally ripped up. Watching gold. All right, market's looking a little bit weaker. Watching Meta finally pull back to the volume weighted average price. And again, we'll see if we actually hold. Give the market some time to flush. Got my LSU mug today, guys. My LSU mug. All right. Anything else you guys want to look at today? Anything else that looks good? Let me know. Market's trying to consolidate. Disney breaking highs again at 91.65. Don't know how far this rally is going to last, but my bet is by mid 24, 3,600 on the SPY. Yeah, I mean, maybe, but I've just heard so many downward predictions. I'm skeptical, and maybe you're right. Again, I'm not saying you're wrong. You might be right, but I've just heard so many down predictions of the last year straight that, like, I'm skeptical. I think the market momentum could continue and it could keep running up, for all I know. You know what I mean? Maybe. NASDAQ is a little bit more difficult to predict. Let's see, strong. People give down predictions when they want to accumulate your goods. Yeah. I mean, again, I think it's one of the things, like, traders, be smart. All right. Now explain why. Like, I'm not hating. I'm just saying, like, if you're a retail trader and, like, you're one of those traders that has constantly thought the market was going to crash over the last year, think about what I'm about to say objectively without just trying to criticize it. Like, think about what I'm about to say objectively. Okay. So a year ago, we had so much bearish propaganda, for lack of a better word. Everybody would say the market's going to crash imminently. The market's going to crash. You'll see. Watch. You better sell. The market's going to crash. And a lot of people were doing that. Like, a lot of people were saying it. Possibly the big banks are putting out that type of stuff. The big banks are saying, oh, the market's going to crash. The market's going to crash. You better sell. You better sell. Retail traders that want to be like Michael Burry piggyback off of that, and they just decide to not hold. They decide to sell all their long trades. They decide to try to maybe buy put options or short the market or whatever they want to do. And then the market flies up huge percentages. You know, again, somebody said the Q is on track to hit 100% this year. And again, I don't know if it will, but who do you think is making money on the upside here, guys? The banks. The banks are the ones making the money. And so one of the things you'll see is a contrarian market. You'll see the banks say one thing and then do another, right? Because they're hoping retail traders fall for this stuff. They're hoping retail traders fall for it and miss out on the biggest, most profound edge the market ever gives you, which is that the S&P 500 is probably going to go up long term. You know, but if you can talk a bunch of naive retail traders into wanting to be Michael Burry and trying to short long term in the market, you can ride up the market easier. Again, maybe that's wrong, maybe that's right. I think it makes sense. Again, do me a favor, hit that like button, bump that like number up. Let's hit 100 likes if we can here, team. I appreciate it. I'm gonna mute the music for a second so I can maybe cut that. All right, guys. All right, guys. Market bounced a little bit. Meta moving up. Look at the Q. Look at the Q. 375.50 for the Q, just huge. All right, guys. So yeah, sorry, I wanted to get that clip. There we go. I mean, do you agree with that though? Do you think what I'm saying is true? I don't know if it is or not. Let me know if you agree with it. The Q's still popping up pretty big here. Um, if you could take the red pill and it would equal love and happiness, or the blue pill and it would equal money and power, which would you do? Obviously, love and happiness. I think anybody that chooses money over power over happiness is dumb because, like, you could have all the money in the world, but not be happy. And I'll tell you this: like, money doesn't actually make you happy. So, to a certain degree, it does. Like, you're definitely happier with less stress, and having more money means less stress. But sometimes it could also mean more stress. I think, and what I will say is that it's typically never enough. Like in my mindset, it's like one of the things that I would do was like I remember back when I started this YouTube channel, I would be like, hey, if I could just make $1,000 a month, like I've made it. Like I can make $1,000 a month from that YouTube channel. I don't have to worry about money as much anymore. And then I made $1,000 a month from it, you know. And then it moved up to like, hey, if I could just make like 50K, or if I can make 50K a year, 60K a year, make like 5K a month, that's just gonna be a huge dream of mine. And then I started making 5K a month, and then it went to 10K, and then it went more than that. And I'll tell you this, it's never really enough. Like, you think you're gonna be happy when you hit a certain point, and then you hit that point, and then the ideal happiness target grows and it gets larger. And so you're never really content with it. And so money can make you less stressed, but it can also make you more stressed. And yeah. Philosophy with John over here. Market needs to pump really hard, like 2 to 3% squeeze everyone, like Bitcoin at 60%. What's your forecast on PPI month over month? I don't know. Again, PPI is one of those things where higher or lower doesn't necessarily mean good or bad reactions. Like typically lower inflation data is good. Um, Higher inflation data is worse, but it's not really something that the market predictably reacts to, if that makes sense. That's called greed. Well, you might just be a hater. And that's fine. But most people are going to have the same thing. Most people are going to have that same concept where, number one, I'll tell you this: if you find successful people, most of them are going to do the same thing. You know, so most of them are going to raise their standards for what they consider good or bad as time goes on, and that's just human nature. The whole point I was trying to make is that money doesn't always make you happy. Yeah, give me a billion. A billion will change things. I don't think I'd ever need anything. Did I forget to monetize the stream? I might have. Let me see. No, I'm monetized. We're good. All right, Q still popping up a little bit. We'll see if it actually holds. Here's a 2-hour chart. Here's a 1-minute chart. But tech, man, again, earnings season coming out. It's going to be big. That's going to be a big influence. I'm curious to see what happens, but that's going to be like the big one, I think, is tech, AI. We'll see what they do for earnings. What's the most profit you've ever made on a trade? A couple thousand, probably. I've accidentally made a bunch of money in a short on, I believe it was Uber, but this was years ago, where I was short in Uber and I was holding some shares, and then some like a really bad catalyst for them came out. I think something like the state of Cali was suing them for a certain amount of money, and it just dumped Uber down. and I was there to kind of lock in profit on that short. That was probably my best day trade I've ever gotten into, but it was purely luck. I'd love to say it was skill, but it was just luck. I got lucky. Hmm. Is there any way to access like the old clips that you've sent? Yeah. So again, guys, let me know what you guys think. Disney pump it up to 9150s. You love to see it with Disney, honestly. Honestly, I think Microsoft guidance is going to be big, not on par with Nvidia, but good. Yeah, for sure. Nvidia and Microsoft are going to be some of the biggest earnings to watch for the upcoming earnings season. I think Nvidia is a little bit later. Yeah, we're going to put a timer up as well. NASDAQ flushing a little bit. SPY started to correct down a little bit now, too. You can kind of see we are down to 447.30s, 447.30s. And again, we'll see if we actually hold that. John, yesterday CPI was low. Doesn't this mean today PPI will be lower as well? Not necessarily. If it was that easy to predict, everybody would be rich. Like if you could say, hey, CPI was low, PPI is going to be low, let's long the market, everybody would do it and make money, and it would be a really easy correlation to profit from. The problem is that it's not that easy to predict. A good example of this is like non-farm payroll data, right? The prelim non-farm data came in much higher than expected. And then when the actual payroll numbers dropped on Friday of last week, they came in underwhelming. And so it's not super easy to predict in that regard. Like, it's just not super easy to predict. Yeah, I'm not sure if Low Key Beams is trying to find a way to complain about ads or what, but oh, y'all can't hear the music? There you go. NVIDIA earnings date is August 23rd. So yeah, it's a couple months away. It's about a month and a half away. NQ dumped yesterday at 15.5. Microsoft can talk about growth in AI and people will totally ignore profit, then go up another 10% plus. Maybe, but I think people are going to be paying attention to a couple different things. One of them is how much money they're bringing in with AI. If they're not bringing in that much money with AI, a lot of these are going to correct, I think. And I think that's the interesting thing. A lot of them might be bringing in money for AI, and I'm sure they're going to orchestrate their earnings release with that in mind, and they're going to, AI, their earnings call up. I'm not going to be surprised if they do that. I'm just trying to inform people about rotating into other stocks that are undervalued if you're in a stock that with a huge run up. 100%. I mean, typically what I always like to do is if I'm up big in anything, I take profit. I take profit in anything I'm up big in because it's just the smarter way to trade, like to lock in profit. And then you can even hold a little piece. Like typically I'll buy something, it runs up. If it runs up, I take profit. I hold like 20% of the trade, and then I just sit tight on 20%. Yeah, but I'm not going to play ads, We try not to we try not to plug anything this early in the morning. Like we usually, our plugs come later on when we got more people here anyway. C3 is going to correct hard eventually. Yeah, I mean, that's what a lot of people are going to be paying attention to. Profit, growth, earnings for C3. I wonder how the market will move after we see CPI go up again. Well, CPI came out yesterday. PPI is today. That's the interesting thing to watch, is like what PPI shows up as today. Yeah, I saw the X launch. He said it was a way to understand the world. I'm still confused about what X is going to ultimately do. John, do you like Moomoo better than Toss? Yeah. I like it better for its capabilities. Like on Moomoo, you can day trade and pre-market at 4 a.m. or whatever it is. You can zero commission. There's better resources and tools that you can use relative to Toss. So like the tools on here are a little bit better. And let's use Moomoo to look to see what's going on in the market right now. So let's take a look at Moomoo, see what's going on in the market right now, guys. Man, my profit graph is just looking, you love it. All right, so let's check out news. Whoa. All right, so yeah, there we go. All right, so let's take a look at the markets here, guys. So here's the market yesterday. Google up, software is up, consumer electric is up, semiconductors did really well, drug manufacturers were mixed, banks did really well, software did well, internet retailers did well, insurance did well, oil and gas did well, auto manufacturers did well, credit services were mixed, telecom was mixed, utilities did well, healthcare was red, information tech was red, banks were red and green. But yeah, that is the market yesterday. The best performing sectors are silver, LiDAR concepts, SPACs were mixed, other precious metals up 6%, live streaming up 5.5%, gold up 5%. So this is what the markets were doing. If we can look at different announcements, IPOs dropping. Yeah, so here is what we got today. And again, let me know what you guys think in pre-market so far. Let's take a look at some stuff. Let's take a look at hot stocks right now. PTPI in pre-market today. JZXN is moving. VSAT is down big, but JZXN is up 78% in pre-market according to Moomoo. VINE is up about 21%. AIHS is up 25%. SXTP is up 25%. Snail is up 30%. FXCOR is up 41%. So those are the biggest movers right now, guys, according to Moomoo. And again, Moomoo is really nice. They have their little paper folio section where you can like see what other paper traders are doing, see what they're making money on. I can go to like monthly and see this guy's up almost 90% on the month. You can see what he's trading. He's mostly trading EVLO today. You can look back at what he's doing, and then like you can follow him, which is really nice. So you can click follow and like see what he's doing. That's really useful. I think really useful. And if you open up an account on Moomoo and deposit at least $100, you get 5 free stocks. If you open up an account and deposit over 1,000, you get 15. If you open up an account deposit over 5K, you get those previous 15 plus a free share of Google or Tesla. And I did get Tesla. It's pretty useful for Moomoo here. Zero commission, open the entire pre-market. Just a lot of reasons for me to switch. And so we switched a couple days ago or a couple weeks ago. And it's something I'm definitely happy about because it's just useful. No commissions in trades either. I don't trade futures on Moomoo. You see what Rivian did? Did they hit an offering? No, Rivian up again. Yeah, I see Rivian on their news. They're up to 2560s. But yeah, Moomoo's a sponsor of mine, so I'm biased, of course. But yeah, as an AI company, I saw the AI company that Musk is creating. What are you guys making money on today, guys? Again, we're going to get a timer up. I forgot to put my timer up today. Nice. All right, so what time is it right now? It is 7:21. We got an hour and about 9.5 minutes. Hour and 8.5 minutes, I mean. All right, so here is our timer. Here, guys, we are going to put this right here. There's our timer until the data comes out. Yeah. Through the price conduction law, the fluctuation of PPI will transmit it to CPI and turn the fluctuation of CPI swell. Yeah, it's definitely going to affect it to a certain extent, of course. But what I'm saying is that it's not super predictable in that regard. Baba? Man, Disney. All right. I'm going to post this. Go heart my Twitter post for good luck today. Give that thing a like, subscribe, a heart, whatever you think is, you know, retweet that thing, hit the like button, hit the Rivian breaking down at 25.40s. Now, people are lazy, Chris. You never underestimate laziness, bro. And so, honestly, I have not actually used like Uber Eats or Instacart or whatever people typically use. I haven't used it much at all. I used it for the first time last week when I got home because I was so tired from the trip. Like I was so tired from the trip that I just didn't feel like going anywhere. I've probably used Uber Eats and stuff like that maybe twice in the last year. And I'll tell you this, like I bought my order. It cost an extra $100 basically, like with tip, because I wanted it fast. And so if you specify a tip and it's a big tip, then they'll go get it really quickly for you because people will be like, hey, this guy's tipping well. And because they'll see the tip ahead of time. And so, but yeah, it added like $100 to the order with tip and everything. So, but I don't use it much because it's just so much money. It's so much money. Most of the places I'm going to are right down the street. And so, yeah, for sure. It's definitely here to stay. It's not going anywhere. Again, you never underestimate laziness. Yeah, again, what I will request though, guys, is like what I will say is like if you've been making bearish predictions, it's a really bad look to come in and say and to come in being mad if the market's going up. Again, I'm not going to mention anybody specifically, but like it's just a bad look. Like one of the things I'll see all the time is people be like, yeah, the market's going to crash. The market's going to drop. The market's going to burn. The market's going to crash. And then the market doesn't, and the market pushes up. And then when the market pushes up, they're mad. And you can kind of see the frustration. They're like, oh, the market should have dropped. It's like, here's the reality. If you think the market should do anything, you don't know what you're talking about. Because the market is unpredictable. Nobody knows. We're all just out here guessing, throwing darts at a dartboard. Nobody really knows the true nature of the market except for the big banks. That's about it. They've got more data than we do. They're the only ones that really know with some degree of accuracy what the market is ultimately going to do. They're the only ones that truly potentially know. I buy 10 shares of NVIDIA a day. I know it'll reach 700 by the end of the year. Yeah, but Amir, you just said on July 7th, NVIDIA to 300 by the end of the year. And so which one is it, sir? Baba at 95.20s here. So Baba, again, it's one of those companies that I know is big. I know it's relevant. I'm just not buying it. I just don't trust it. I don't trust the government there. I think there's too much question marks regarding what the regulation is going to do over there. I think it's just too risky for me to buy. I have never invested in Baba. I might have bought it once or twice as a day trade, but I've never actually invested in it. And so with that, I'm just incredibly skeptical. Tesla. Yeah, we can look at Tesla. Tesla is gapping up today, I believe, right? But the whole market's gapping up. So the whole market's up. Yeah, Tesla's up today. Tesla at 273.50s, hit 271.70s, but up pretty big. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly, Tony. I see people come here all the time and they're like, the market's going to do this. And then they shame people if they take the opposing view. Generally, those are the most rookie traders. Like the most rookie traders are the ones that say, hey, the market's going to go up in the next 3 months. And anybody that thinks it's not is dumb. Or the market's going to go down tomorrow. And anybody that thinks it's not is dumb. Like those are usually the most rookie traders. Disney, though, loving life right now. Disney pumping up. We told you guys. Again, Disney hits the 80s. I start to buy it up. Sometimes I have to sit in it for a week. Sometimes I got to sit in it for months. Generally, it's worked out really well doing that. Yeah, Mayor, didn't you just say, again, on July 7th, you said NVIDIA was going to hit 300 by the end of the year? I'd like some clarification on that, kind sir. Wait until cars drive themselves and drive through sentence orders. Yeah, that'll happen pretty soon, within the next few years. My daughter's talking about what kind of car she wants right now. And I told her by the time she's driving, my guess is there's going to be a lot of autonomous vehicles, hanging out. It's going to be like Hot Tub Time Machine 2. How much PPI data? It's going to move the markets. We don't know how much, though. I don't get Disney stock. I'd rather buy Palantir. Well, Palantir is less established, not as proven of a company. Palantir is interesting because of AI, but it's certainly not a blue chip company. The reality is Disney's going to go up long term. Like, not really a big argument there. Disney's going to move up long term, like without question. How much and how long it will take for Disney to move up is questionable, but it's going to go up long term. At least it's got a very high probability that it's going to go up long term. Like Disney is almost certainly going to move up long term. Palantir is not that. So Palantir is not necessarily going to go up long term. We don't know. It's just less established. It's more hyped up. It's more. It's just more hyped. It's a more hyped up company that is less established, less proven, and ultimately more risky to hold long term. But it's a bigger risk, big reward trade. And so if it does go up, then you might make big money doing so. But you could also lose big money as well. It could also drop 50% in a year. You know what I mean? And so that's the difference between Disney and Palantir. They both have pros and cons. Again, Palantir less established as a company, just less established. But ultimately, big risk, big reward is what it is. Would you guys rather buy Palantir or Disney? In chat, let me know. I'm going with Disney, but Palantir does have a bigger potential reward if it works out for it. No, don't go all in Palantir. Again, don't go all in on anything. That's just kind of what retail traders do. Yeah, I got to disagree with you, Chris. I think it's going to break records, brother. I might be wrong, but I think it's going to break records. What do you think about Snap? I tend to like Snap as a company long term, but short term, I think there's risks. I think Snapchat is so influential in social media over the last 10 years, and they're $13.50 a share. So that's pretty cheap. But again, I am also biased because I've made a bunch of money on Snapchat buying the dips in Snapchat stock. Like when it dropped down to 7 and 8, I had a lot of haters talking about it was going to fail, and I would buy it up and ride it up. It's a little bit high for me. It's a little bit too extended on the upside, and I know they have monetization problems, but for me personally, it's a little bit too up there. It's not a good long-term investment necessarily, Rational. Again, it's less established. It's not profitable enough as a company yet. Um, the thing about mid caps, guys, and the big thing that you guys need to understand about mid caps is that mid caps can be incredibly risky. Like the problem is like retail traders treat mid caps like they're Amazon or like they're Google or like they're Disney when they're not. They're bigger risk, big reward trades. And so you can make money on Palantir, and Palantir might work out. I'm not saying it's going to fail. The risk of treating stocks like Palantir like they're blue chips is that traders underestimate the volatility, so they don't understand like mid caps. I think more retail traders lose money on mid cap stocks like Palantir than any other sector of the market, even penny stocks, because mid caps are tricky, right? Like they can move up big percentages and you can make money, and some of them are going to be great long-term investments. The other 50% or so are going to be terrible investments, and they're going to be overhyped companies that are not established long enough, that are not really making money. And so when people get really behind these companies, they treat them like they're Amazon, like it's a sure thing, and then it drops 80% in a year, like BYND, like Peloton, like Tilray. There's just so many different examples of this. And so you can make money on mid caps, guys. And Palantir might be a good one. With AI especially, you got to watch this next earnings season with Palantir, because if they do good, they've got a real good chance of running if they have good earnings. But there's also vulnerabilities and risks there that you don't want to underestimate, because again, Palantir hasn't been around that long. It's not really making that much money. It's still pretty new, pretty hyped. Just be careful. It's certainly not a sure thing. And again, I've had a lot of people tell me things were sure things. They said CEI was a sure thing. It's down 90+%. They said BBIG was a sure thing. It's down 90+%. They said all these other companies were sure things. Just understand when something's hyped up or when something's established and making money, right? There's a difference between those two sectors of companies. And I think you got to understand the differences. Despite how much you like Palantir, how big of a position you might have in Palantir that's influencing that bias, just be careful. That's what I'll say. Yeah, but a mid cap dropping 50% is not necessarily a good thing. Again, you can't really base extension on the RSI or anything like that off of mid caps, because again, mid caps are going to go up and down big percentages. I understand you might be in a pretty sizable position, Minnow. I understand that. What I will say is that I'm not saying Palantir is not going to go up, man. What I'm saying is that you do not want to put your whole life savings into a hyped up, relatively new established company. All right, it's not a good investment. It's not a smart move, regardless of what Palantir ends up doing. All right, there's gamblers and then there's traders, guys. Don't be a gambler. Mullen, yeah. There's a lot of mid-cap examples of this. Yeah, don't marry a stock, I guess is the point. Don't get so emotional about a stock where it's like me saying this makes you emotional. Again, if that does, then you're probably a little bit extended in that stock and you want to check yourself, because I didn't say anything wrong. I said what I said was all truth. And I hope you guys listen. Yeah, I think so as well. I think there's not going to be many Cybertruck cancellations. I think they're going to have a hard time getting it when it first comes out. And I think that's going to create scarcity, which is going to create demand, which is going to create profit for them. I think it's going to break sales records. I really do. Yeah, maybe that's a good 100 shares of Palantir. Do your thing. I'm not mad at that. Do your thing. Again, I just don't want people to invest their life savings in one specific company. You know what I mean? I think that's pretty risky. Yeah. I know, but okay. So here's the problem, though. Somebody's saying, "Hey, Palantir's been around for 20 plus years." Okay, but here's the EPS, which is profitability graph. Okay, so here's the Palantir EPS profitability graph. They have never made money except for the last 2 quarters, where they made 1 cent a share and 2 cents a share the previous one. So they actually went down quarter to quarter here. Prior to that, they've been losing money for a while since they've been public. And so the point is, newly established public company. 20 years is great, but Disney's been around for a century. Google has been around for 30 years or so, and in that period of time, it's one of the largest companies in the world. I'm not saying Palantir. Listen, I think Palantir might be a good growth stock if you're trying to really make money and you're understanding that you could also lose on the trade. I think that's the way to approach it. It's got AI influence. It could move markets. It could be a big influence over earnings season. I think it's important to watch. I'm not saying it's going to fail at all. What I'm saying is, like, don't blindly invest your life savings into one specific newly established mid-cap company. That's a risky thing to do. That's again, just be smart. Like, diversify. Trade small if you need to. That's what I'm saying. And again, y'all have to understand my bias, which is that I have seen so many people come out pumping specific companies. Like, again, they did it with CEI, they did it with BBIG, they did it with Peloton, BYD, Tilray. They do it with all these different companies, and they all and everybody that, like, usually it's, again, people who have invested a lot of their life savings. They're talking about how these are the greatest companies ever, that they're the next Amazon, that they're the next Tesla, that all these different things, and maybe they are. But just be smart, guys. Like, invest what you're okay with losing is the only way to do it. Because if you don't, and you put your family's money at stake, or you invest your life savings, again, it's a recipe for disaster. What do you think about ARK Invest? I think ARK Invest is interesting. I don't know what they're going to do, but I think they're interesting to watch. I think Kathy Woods has had some good picks, some bad picks, some good calls, some bad calls, but she's richer than me, so I can't really knock her. Knock her trades, that is. Let me clarify that. But Amazon was not profitable for a long time too. Not saying Palantir is Amazon, but who knows, right? Yeah, for sure. I mean, who knows? It might do, Palantir might do something. What I typically go with is yearly charts, and this is a pretty rough looking yearly chart. They're starting to come back with the resurgence of AI. That's a pretty rough yearly chart. A weekly chart is looking a little bit worse. The difference, though, like, the thing to understand about these is that, and what I always try to tell people is this. So they went live at about $9 a share in 2020. The thing about this, though, is that, like, Amazon was never, or like stocks like Facebook and stuff like that, they were never really small cap stocks. They were never really penny stocks with small caps. They were always large caps. They were already hyped up ahead of the IPO and stuff like that. A lot of the time, like, the newly established companies can be a little bit risky, but we don't know. Again, I think with AI, I think Palantir's got a shot, but I'd like to see more EPS gains in the next earnings report. I'd like to see more revenue increases in the next earnings report. And so that's what I'm going to be watching. So investing in Robinhood is a bad bet. I don't know. I really have no idea. I don't know if it's going to be good or bad bet. I really don't. What I will say is that Robinhood, I don't know. I think the 24-hour trading thing is necessary to save themselves. I think if they can execute that successfully and keep people on, I think that's good. I think Robinhood's problem is that they hadn't evolved prior to the last couple months. They hadn't evolved. We talked about it a lot. Which is that Robinhood just hadn't evolved. Robinhood is good for options, I think, but the problem with Robinhood is that like people start using them, and like eventually people graduate to a more advanced platform. Like people don't want to use Robinhood after a certain point. It's too simple. They want real indicators, real platforms. And I know they did their updated platform, but I think it's always going to be something with Robinhood where people sign up for it in the beginning because it's simple to use. And then once they get the hang of what stock trading actually is, then they move on to a better, more advanced brokerage. I think that's going to be a very common trend that you see in Robinhood over and over again. And I think Robinhood's problem is that they got to find a way to keep traders. And I think the 24-hour trading thing is good. But in terms of their stock, I think they took so long to bring out these new things. I think they should have done their advanced platform years ago. I think they should have done the 24-hour trading thing years ago. And so the fact that they basically stayed the same for 5 years shows bad management, I think. And so in that regard, I'm skeptical of Robinhood long-term, yes. But I think there's also a chance that it could go up. I don't know. I try not to make definitive statements because I truly don't know what anything's going to do. But yeah, that's kind of how I am. I really don't know. Is PayPal a good investment? I think PayPal is risky. I think cryptocurrencies are going to influence PayPal because they're kind of taking. Again, I can send 1,000 USDT for $3, right? If I try to send $1,000 on PayPal, it's going to charge me 30. And so I think that's bad long term for PayPal. But I also think PayPal is a big company that like they can find a way to evolve. And I think if they do, they're going to be fine. But again, PayPal is like I'm not personally investing in it because of those risks. My system for investing in swing trading stuff is pretty strict, and so I just don't know about PayPal or Robinhood for that matter. I just don't know. Yeah, but Gary, again, you're probably using the wrong fills on Moomoo. If you use market fills, you get filled instantly. If you try to buy in pre-market, if you're buying, you want to buy the ask. If you're selling, you want to sell the bid. If you do that, you're gonna get an insta fill. I can give you an example of that. Here, I gotta get out of Pfizer anyway. I'm already in it, but like, watch. All right, so here's Pfizer. If I sell the ask price. Or no, I'm selling the bid. That's what buyers are bidding on. So I'm selling the bid, right? So if I sell this bid, it's going to be an immediate fill. You'll be able to hear it. Watch, like, look, I can put the order up, but you'll be able to hear it. Filled. You hear it? You heard that? That was immediate fill. Immediate fill. And so the fills are fine on Moomoo, man. Again, that's the example. And so most of the time, if you're getting bad fills, it's probably just user error, in my opinion, to be honest. All right, guys. Hey, we got 44 minutes before PPI comes out. 44 minutes. What's good or bad PPI? Well, lower PPI is probably better, but we don't know for sure. Did you say PayPal charges money to send money? Yes. 100%. They charge money. Of course they do. How do you think they operate? Yeah, I'll check it out, Tony. All right, guys. So today, All right, guys. So bull or bear? Vote on the poll. Let's see. Bull, bear. We'll make it 2 hours long, and then we'll post this. Again, do me a favor, bump that like button, hit the subscribe button, guys. We certainly appreciate it. All right, we're gonna do this poll. Bull, bear. Spy push it up a little bit. We got Palantir starting to cross back over, but we're gonna watch that. We'll put the Q up here as well. We can also put Tesla up too. Tesla Q was at 375. Here's Tesla. Tesla at 274s. Again, vote on our YouTube poll here. We did do a poll right now. We'll see how many people truly support the channel. Go hit that heart button on the poll. Vote on the poll. Let us know how you feel regarding this report. Let me get Discord up. I don't even think I've had Discord up. Where's Pawn at? Anybody seen Pawn? What about Bitcoin? Who's Tom Lee? All right, so we are getting a pullback a little bit in the NASDAQ here. SPY's still trying to hold. We're at 447.75. Tesla at 274s. Bitcoin is about to start climbing. Yeah, we'll see Bitcoin currently sitting. Still, again, Bitcoin's been between 30 and 32,000. Yeah, maybe Leslie. Yeah, he might have his power out. Let me see. He's typing to me now. I'll see what he says. All right, so we got about 86% of people are bullish, 14% are bearish on Twitter. Looking at our YouTube poll, we got 40 minutes. Yeah. Did you know he does that for you? Yeah, I know he posts the stuff to Weeble. He's a mod of mine, so I pay him, money to moderate my chat rooms and stuff. So he's probably the most reliable mod I have. Yeah, he just said rough light night last night. His dog was sick. Most people have turned bullish. Yeah, a lot of people are bullish right now for sure. Again, I don't know if that bull mentality is going to sustain. We'll see. Again, the big one is the big one is going to be bank earnings and Tesla earnings next week. That's bank earnings are going to be the big influence over everything, I think. Wishful thinking. What is bullish? Yeah, you're not gonna be able to post links in Webull. Pawn doesn't actually post links or anything like that. But yeah, so I don't know, man. Again, I'll tell you this. The last years had my bias. I think the last years had me biased against the bears because you got to understand something. Like running this community, the people I see that are the most toxic are bearish traders. Like without question, they're more toxic. And so I don't know what that means. There's a lot of assumptions I can make from that. We could say they're younger. We could say they're less intelligent. We could say whatever we want to say regarding people being more toxic, what that means for them. What I will say is that over the last year plus, I've told people that the market didn't have to crash, that it's very possible that the market keeps moving up as it has. During those periods of times, again, typically the most toxic ones are the bearish traders. Like they're the ones calling other people names. They're the ones shaming long traders. They're the ones making fun of people if they're bullish and like all these different things. And again, I think there's just a lot of bias on the downside. I think what happens, and one of the things that you'll see a lot from this is that you'll see like big YouTubers push this crash narrative. Like I've seen a lot of really big YouTubers push this crash narrative over the last 6 months, right? A lot of them have. They've said the market was going to crash. Every major CPI report, they've told their followers the market was going to crash. And then the market's basically been going straight up like this, right? The market's basically been going up. I think they make all these doomsday predictions because it's better for clicks and views. And I understand that. I'm not really hating on that. But I think what happens when you get a lot of retail traders that just eat that up, they just eat that up, they just believe it. That's why a lot of them are bearish. That's why a lot of them are bearish. And I think when they're wrong about their bearish predictions, that makes them emotional. And so that makes them toxic because they're losing money and it hurts. And so misery loves company. And so they in turn start hating on other people. I think that's the cycle of it, where you got like big YouTubers telling them the market's going to crash to get views. The market doesn't crash. And so they end up losing money. That makes them emotional, in turn makes them toxic. And I think that's the cycle. But the point is that you got to understand what the YouTubers are doing. Like a lot of them are just trying to get clicks, right? And is telling people the market's probably going to move up long-term going to be the best for clicks? No. What's going to be the best for clicks? Hey guys, the market's imminently going to crash. If you don't watch this video, you'll miss it. You better watch the video. That is what's going to get clicks. And that's what works. And I can't even knock it. I'm not even mad at it. What I will say is that retail traders, just be smart. Understand nobody freaking knows. Including myself. And so just be smart. Yeah, fooled me, lost a good bit on shorts. Yeah, a lot of people did, to be honest. And it was something to the point where like I had so many people hating on me for being bullish. They'd call me a perma bull. They'd tell me we'll see. They'll tell me all this different stuff. Most of those big bear traders that were like talking smack to me and telling me the market was going to crash and telling me I didn't know what I was talking about, most of them are just kind of crickets now. It's like they're gone. They haven't showed their heads here anymore. And I kind of get it, because if you're telling everybody the market's going to crash and then the market runs up 40%, a lot of people, they're not mature enough to be like, yo, I was wrong. I'm definitely the top 3 wrongest traders ever, but yeah. Disney, guys, I'm just gonna keep bringing up Disney up to 91.50s. Check it out. Look at that. Loving life right now. Well, again, I'll see if I buy some more on a dip, but yeah, I have no idea if we're going to buy or sell. Yeah, good morning, Pawn. Hope you're doing good, bro. The compulsory question when logging on to beginner trading will not yield anywhere near accurate results. Just an FYI. So basically what you're saying is the poll is wrong in a very, so you're saying the poll's wrong. That's okay. The poll's not always going to be right. Again, we're just judging sentiment. In no way am I telling people the poll's going to be right. Again, I'm just judging sentiment. Again, most people are actually wrong. Again, I'll tell the common theme with the poll is like if it's about the broader market, more people are bearish, I would say. If it's about individual stocks, they're going to be bullish more likely, unless it's like AMC or GameStop, and then kind of haters show up. But yeah, that's what I've seen from most of it. Yeah, it's just not supposed to be right. It's just judging sentiment. All right, guys. SPY up to 447.60s. Again, Tesla at 274s. All right, guys. We got 30 minutes here. 30 minutes. Yeah, so again, SPY currently sitting at 447.69s here. Tesla at 274s. We do have jobless claims numbers as well. Jobless claims numbers are relevant today too. And that's like a big thing that you want to watch is jobless claims. So jobless claims coming out today might influence everything as well. Jobless claims are expected to show up at 250,000, 250K for jobless claims. And again, we'll see if we show up. I'm going to update the thing right here. Yeah, so jobless claims expected at 250. That data up there. All right, guys, 274s, 274s. Well, people put thought in it. I mean, they're pretty basic questions. I don't think it has to do with thought per se. I think they're showing their sentiment is what it really is. I think voting on the poll, they're just showing their sentiment. You know what I mean? Some people are bullish, bearish, it all good either way. I'm not hating on bears. Again, I think the market could be a little extended, and I think there's a chance that we correct during the next earnings season. So it's not like I'm like super bullish. It's not like I'm buying up swing trades right now because I'm not. Most of the time I'm flat in most of my swings. But I also understand that like the market doesn't have to crash. Jobless claims is not normally on Friday. So like typically jobless claims drops every Thursday weekly. It drops Thursday every Thursday. So it drops every Thursday at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Jobless claims is like how many people are basically filing for unemployment is what jobless claims is. So jobless claims are unemployment filings. It's kind of another form of unemployment. Again, so higher than expected jobless claims means less people working, and lower than expected jobless claims means more people working, right? And you can make your own conclusions of that based off of what you think the market is fearing. If the market is fearing inflation, they're going to want less people working. They're going to want higher jobless claims. Higher jobless claims is going to be seen as better. If the market is fearing a recession, like if banks are struggling and the market's fearing a recession, people are going to want lower jobless claims and economic growth. Same thing for today's PPI. It'll be very telling of inflation and all that stuff. So we'll see. Yeah, but continuing claims aren't the most relevant. It's mostly new claims. Initial jobless claims is what they're is the big one that comes out that we should pay attention to. We can look at the other one, but the big one is going to be initial claims, which is new claims. Can I buy or sell? What a vague question, sir. Yes, you can. You can buy or sell or not do anything. That's true too. Bitcoin up to 30.7 thousand. We'll see if it keeps rising here. Disney almost up to 92s in pre-market. Hit 91.75. Hey, John, at what point are the bears going to figure they missed the bottom? I think deep down inside they know already. But I think sometimes it's hard for people to admit they're wrong. And there's a lot of egos that float around the stock market, especially the ones that have been arguing with me. And so even though time has proven me obviously correct, people do mental gymnastics to avoid that conclusion. Basically top 3 most correct traders in the world right now. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I'm basically the top 3 greatest market predictors of all time. And hit the subscribe button. Yeah, I think it's pretty likely we raise rates. When you sign off in the morning, do you trade in private? Sometimes. Depends. Honestly, by the time I sign off, I'm pretty tired, though. Like, think about it. I start the stream at 5 a.m. my time. It doesn't end until 9 something my time. So usually I stream for 4+ hours. That's a long time to stream. And so when you're staring at screens for 4+ hours every day, usually when the stream's up, I'm walking away. All right, so there's the 8 a.m. scrum a couple minutes ago. Still watching the NASDAQ pump. Is the US dollar today up or down? It depends on what the market does, Shaw. So if the market goes up, dollar's probably going to drop. If the market goes down, dollar's probably going to go up. If inflation is high, the dollar's probably going to go up. If inflation is low, the dollar's probably going to go down. That is basically probably what's going to happen. It's never for sure. The correlation with the Dixie and the market is not like always, but it's most of the time. PPI data market. If PPI data is down, market will crash today or tonight. You got that backwards. Number one, the market's certainly not going to crash today. It might pull back, it might correct, but it's not going to crash. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Anything could happen, but low probability. How many hours of sleep do you get regularly? I usually go for 7. I actually feel a little bit better if I get less than 7, though. If I get over 7, sometimes I don't feel as rested. If I wake up and I get like 6.5 to 6 3/4, that's usually when I feel the best. So like 6.5 to 6 1/4 and 3/4 is usually where I'm feeling the best and the most energized when I wake up. If I get over 7, I'm usually okay. If I sleep too much, if I sleep like 8 hours, I usually feel worse. Could you explain what the data could mean for markets? So the data is inflationary data, right? So CPI dropped yesterday. It's the consumer price index. It judges how much prices are going up or down for consumers or buyers, basically us, right? The consumer price index judges inflation and prices going up or down. Again, yesterday's judges consumer inflation, so how much prices are rising or whatever for buyers. And then the other side of the inflationary coin or token is PPI, which is gauging how much prices are going up or down for businesses or sellers, producers, however you want to put it, right? So one of the things, though, is that CPI will give you a pretty obvious reaction. Like if CPI comes in light, market's going to go up. If CPI comes in high, market's probably going to go down. PPI is less sure of a reaction. Like PPI, I've covered it every month for a year plus. PPI typically is less predictable. So like we can get really low PPI and you might think, oh, that's great. Market might correct on the downside from that, especially with how much the market has pushed up today and yesterday in the last couple months, to be honest. And so it's not a for sure thing. It's not something that, I mean, I don't know. I'm going to preface everything else I'm about to say with like, I don't know what's going to happen for PPI, regardless of what the number is. Just be careful. understand that like it's not going to be as simple. It could be. Maybe we come in low and the market rips. That's possible. But a lot of the times it's not that simple. So personally, I'm not going to say, hey, PPI is lower than expected, I'm going to buy now. Or, hey, PPI is higher than expected, I'm going to sell now. Personally, I'm not doing that. I think that's too much risk. PPI is less predictable for me. But higher is worse, lower is better. Yeah, I'm not going to click any link. Nobody click any link. And if this guy's trying to plug a link here, don't click it. Yeah, I mean, I can put it up here. It doesn't really matter too much. I don't want it to block the price. There we go. It's better. All right, 22 minutes, guys. 22 minutes. Yeah, no worries, Web3. Yeah, it's kind of me too. I don't know what it is. It's weird. I like sometimes less sleep, I'll feel better. What I think it really is, and again, Disney dipping down, but we just took profit. Like we've already taken profit on it. We're out of Disney. And again, we might buy back on a dip. Did some catalyst come out for it? Yeah, I'm going to take an opportunity and buy this dip, actually. All right. All right, so we just added a little bit back in Disney, to be honest, on that pullback. And we already got a quick little bounce from it. What was I talking about? Abundant empirical evidence says that once you become a parent, you need less sleep. Yeah. Oh yeah. So I don't know what it is. Like I think probably what it is I think if you wake up, like a lot of the time, what my sleep schedule will look like is like I'll get up at like 4 a.m. or 3:30 in the morning, right? And I'll go to the bathroom and I'll go back to sleep. And then if I go back to sleep and then wake up again, I feel worse, you know, because I think my sleep is less. I think you feel more tired. I think Andrew Huberman talked about that, how you feel more tired if you wake up, go back to sleep, and then wake up again. So typically, if I just get up naturally at like 5 a.m., I just feel much better. Do you any other job after streams? Yeah, I mean, I'm a real estate agent. I do some programming stuff too, and like we got a couple different income sources. Yeah, Tony, you and I can talk about some options stuff, brother. That's all good, man. Again, I'm probably never gonna have anybody else on stream, and so just a heads up for everybody. I'm probably not gonna have any guests on stream. It's just so much work, man. To you know, and it's nothing against you at all, Tony. It's just I'm just never gonna have any guests on stream. It's just too much work, you know. Like not you, Tony, but like other guests. I've let them on the stream, and then like they have all these expectations, and like sometimes like weirdness happens, and like I'd rather just keep it separate. You know, I had another guy who it's like I met him, and I swear I had met this dude like twice, right? He sees my house, he sees my YouTube channel. And like, bro, this dude's like my best friend. It wasn't Ben, it's not Tony. And so another guy completely. All right. And like this dude all of a sudden wants to be my best buddy, my best friend. You know, he's saying, hey, you know, but I remember the second time I had ever met him, he saw my house. He was like, love you, bro. And I'm sitting there, I don't even know what to say, bro. I met you twice, dude. You know, like I love you too, I guess, bro. I love everybody, but like again, make your intentions a little less obvious, sir. Like, come on now, man. You're acting like we're best buds now? Yeah, all good, Tony. As long as you're cool with that, bro, yeah, we can talk about it, man. I want to learn options. I want to learn how to sell options. I know I heard some big money's in like selling options. I wish I felt good in the morning. Yeah, I mean, I need my sleep is like my big thing. Like I freaking need my sleep. Like I need good sleep. If I don't have good sleep, bro, I am a total jerk all day, man. Some of the times when you catch me in a bad mood on these streams, it's because I didn't get enough sleep. We're banning everybody out here. Hide your trades, hide your predictions, because we're banning everybody out here. Man, I'm getting old. That's an old quote at this point in time from Tosh.0. Tosh.0, man. What happened to that show? We are best buds. Hey, y'all are my best buddies, you know. In options, I'd probably like to sell like Apple options or the SPY options. This old playlist is good, man. I like this whole playlist. Yeah, I don't know. On FOMC day, I think there's risks, especially if you're selling options. All right, guys, we got 17 minutes. Hey, I love you guys too. Again, I appreciate you guys. Most of you guys have been around longer than this other dude that came to my house, man. All right, we're going to throw it in sub-only mode. So speaking of love, show you love me, guys, by subscribing. Hey, congrats, Bobby. Hey, congrats, dude. Happy for you, brother. Hey, we can have an open relationship, Raz. You know what I mean? Most of the time, they don't say love you, man, V. Most of the time, they'll say, like, God bless. For like, you give them some change, and they'll be like, God bless. And I'll be like, God bless you, you know? Is usually how my interactions with them go. But hey, my guy Bulldog. Hey, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing good, my man. Yeah, I got to learn a little bit more about that property. I'm trying to invest in something, man. I just don't know what. I've got a bunch of money saved. I would slide in there, Bulldog, and be like, hey, bro, let's go half on that deal. But you're out there in Alaska. It's the only problem with me, bro. You're too far away from me. I'm in Texas. I do like Alaska, though. Alaska looks fun. Yeah, Top Step's great. And again, if you haven't already checked out Moo, again, if you open up an account and deposit on Moo, you get 5 free stocks. If you open up an account and deposit over $100, you get 5 free stocks. I mean, if you open up an account and deposit over 1,000, you get 15 free stocks. And I did get Palantir. For those Palantir lovers, I did get Palantir. If you open up an account and deposit over 5K, you get the previous ones plus either Google or Tesla share. And again, my favorite thing about Moo is that they have their paperfolio competition that allows you to see what people are trading, see what people are buying. You can see the graphs. You can see how much they're up. This guy's up almost 500% on the month. This guy is up almost 90%. This next guy's up 72%. And you can see what they're buying. You can see what they're trading. You can see what they're holding. And I think that's really interesting. Again, you can see the monthly returns, 85%. I can look at this guy, 70% on the month. Riot is what he's been trading. This guy, or this girl, Courtney, up 31% on the month. Fubo. So you can see this guy who's up 21% on the month. He's buying Fubo, Palantir, Mego, Grab, all these other ones. Just really useful. I can also go to Explore, see free heat maps. I can make this larger and like see biggest movers in pre-market, after hours, the newest IPOs, different sectors of market activity, comprehensive rankings. I can see what's hot in the market. PTPI is big. I can go to the best performing sectors and see what's moving there. Again, I can go to the news, and the news sources are really, really good. I can go to the headline news today, and we can see what's moving here. I can go to my watch list and build a watch list and see all the news reports that are coming out for my watch list. I can look at the calendar and see what's moving in terms of economic data. I can see what earnings are coming out, all that good stuff. And again, zero commission stock trades. Open the entire the reason I switched from TOS to Moo is because they're open the entire pre-market session. So I can day trade at 4 a.m. if I want. I can trade at 4 a.m. I can buy stuff at 4 a.m. If news comes out, I can sell early before everybody else, and it just works. And so again, if you want to check out Moo, they are a sponsor of mine. Great way to help support your boy here in this channel. There's the link. And again, I do like the platform. There's a reason I switched from TOS. Do you guys take positions before or after the data release? I usually take positions after it. So I usually take positions after the release. I'm not. There's a lot of risk in betting and gambling on the like ahead of the release. It's really risky taking big positions ahead of the release. So just be careful. Like the truth is, with economic releases like this, nobody knows what anything is going to do. Right? Nobody knows if the market's going to go up, down, or sideways from this report. Nobody knows what the numbers are going to show up as, despite how many people claim to. Nobody really knows. And so it's something that you just got to be really, really smart, really, really careful with. And I usually react to the economic data instead of trying to predict it, because trying to predict it is usually just a losing endeavor. Trying to guess what the data is going to show up as is usually pretty risky. And so I usually just sit tight and don't really like gamble big on the data like that. Yeah, I got CPI exactly right. Again, I said 3%. We showed up at 3%. I literally got it exactly right. And again, ironically, or maybe not so ironically, I've got, out of the last 3 CPI reports, I've been right about 2 of them. So, but again, I said this yesterday, and I have to be honest about it. It's purely luck. It's purely luck. Trust me. I run a fairly large stock market YouTube channel. I would love to say that I've got some system in predicting CPI or economic data where I've got some wildly accurate system in predicting CPI data. I'd love to say that, but it's just not accurate. I guessed it and I got lucky 2 out of 3 times. I guess I could look at it and say, hey, I think it's going to come in low. Maybe I'm going to go with 3%. Hey, I think it's going to come in high. I'm going to go with this number. But again, it's purely luck. It's no skill at all really involved there. And I just got lucky, 2 out of 3 times this month or the last quarter. So it's all good. I guess I got to make a prediction for PPI now too, right? PPI is expected to show up at 0.2%. I'm going to preface this with I have no freaking idea what PPI is going to show up as today. I'm going to go with 0.2%. I'm going to go with PPI coming in as expected today. I'm going to go with as expected PPI, 0.2%. Now, if I get this one right, John's PPI, CPI predicting service is going to pop up tomorrow. But I'm going to go with 0.2%. Again, I might be wildly wrong. Probably am wildly wrong here. Let me know what you guys, what's your number, guys? What's your PPI expectation for today? It drops in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. We got about 900 people here. Again, subscribe if you haven't yet. 10 minutes left for PPI data showing up. Again, let me know how you feel here. You can also see Moo if you want to check out Moo, pinned at the top of the chat. No, you're not restricted from depositing. Look, here's Moo's website. Somebody saying you can only deposit $25K. If you're doing ACH transfers, you're limited in ACH transfers, probably because they can't vet that the money's actually there and they're crediting you ahead of time. So because of that, they're limiting ACH. But if you deposit via wire, there's no upper limit. You can deposit as much as you want. And trust me, I did deposit over $25K through a wire transfer. In a week, in less than a week, I deposited over $25K into Moo. So yeah, that's wrong. Was there a poll about today? So the poll today is, does PPI come in higher or lower? 40% think higher, 37% think lower, 24% think as expected. We did a Twitter poll as well. So far, bullish are 63% on Twitter. Bears are about 37%. And so again, if you want to vote on this poll, let us know how you feel. Bull or bear on PPI data. There's the link. Give me a follow on Twitter if you can. I definitely appreciate it. Yeah, Tesla. I got Tesla. I'll show you guys what I got. I got Tesla, like Grab. I got some Palantir shares. So I got, again, I liked the stocks I got.
When you say bullish, it's about US dollar. Well, no. If something that's bullish for the market is usually bearish for the dollar. And so when I say bull or bear, I'm talking about market activity, not the dollar. The dollar has an inverse correlation. Fed is looking at PCE. Well, yeah, the Fed uses the personal consumption expenditure more than CPI or PPI, but CPI and PPI react more for retail, and the market in general reacts more to CPI and PPI than PCE. The Fed might use PCE, which is the personal consumption expenditure, and they might think that's a more accurate inflationary gauge, but the market itself is going to look at CPI much more than PCE. No, you can't trade options pre-market in anything. I'm at. Options are only open from 9:30 to 4 p.m. market time, from my understanding. All right, guys. Is Moomoo a CFD trading site? No. Moomoo is regulated in the U.S. stock trading website, man. Moomoo is a U.S. regulated broker. It's regulated by it's regulated in the United States by the FTC and all that stuff. It's a U.S. broker. Hey, thank you, B10. I appreciate it, bro. Thank you, man. All right, guys. Hey, we got 6 minutes. 6 minutes. Again, let me know your last minute predictions here. Again, SPY's dipping down ahead of this report. Tesla down to 274s. I'm probably going to put the Q up here instead of Tesla, though, for this report. Here's the Q at 375s. Yeah, futures options. Where can you trade futures options? I'm not sure. I've never tried. Yeah, jobless claims expected at 250,000 too. So that's an interesting thing to watch. 250K is what's expected there. We'll see if we hit it. 266,000 jobless claims. I think they're expected to show at 250. All right, PPI month over month expected at 0.2%. 0.2% for PPI month over month. Jobless claims expected at 250K. And again, we'll see if it happens. Make sure you hit the live button next to the play button. Now that we got less than 5 minutes, make sure you hit the live next to the play button to make sure you're fully caught up. You want to make sure your live button looks like this here, guys. To make sure you're fully caught up and streaming. Again, thousands of people tune in because we cover the data pretty quickly. So again, make sure you click this live button next to your play button to make sure it's red. If it's red, it means you're in real time. If it's gray, you're not in real time. But again, we're prepping this to get ready here. Got a bunch of different sources. Today is Thursday. All right, guys. PPI today. Jobless claims today. All right, CPI yesterday, PPI today. Again, 3.5 minutes. The SPY dipping down slightly. Again, higher is typically seen as worse. Lower is typically seen as better. And then tomorrow we have bank earnings. We got JP Morgan and a couple other bank stocks dropping their earnings tomorrow. That'll be relevant for market activity too. All right, guys, 3.5 minutes. Yeah, jobless claims dropped right at 8:30 as well. I think I'm out of Coca-Cola, I think, right? I think I cut mine. Let me see. It's up nicely today. Oh no, I'm still in it. Good. I'm glad I'm in it too. It's green. It's really green on the day. Yeah, we're nicely green on it. don't know what I want to do on the rest, but will the crypto market be affected? I'm not sure. It could be. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the clipping thing. It worked for me, Pawn, but it might be your phone. It could be phone. Clipping is not working as well. Q pulling back some. Here's a 5-minute chart on the SPY. Again, Disney bounced back. We bought a little dip here. Pretty much flat in that now. That looks good. All right, guys, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Again, positive or bearish market reaction, guys. Positive or weak market reaction. We got about 1,200 votes. 40% think we're going to come in higher than expected for PPI, which might signal a downward move in stocks. 37% think we're going to come in lower. So we're actually pretty split in our poll here. We got over 1,000 votes. And again, 40% roughly think higher, 37% think lower, and then about 23% think as expected here. Anybody YOLOing the news? I'm personally not. All right, guys, we got less than a minute. Or no, we got about a minute left. Let me see how much time. Yeah, we got 1 minute left, guys. 1 minute. One minute here, guys. Here, I'm going to pause this. This poll's a little bit, or the timer's a little bit off. Again, 1 minute, about 40 seconds. Hit the live button next to the play button to make sure you're fully caught up. Let's see if we get some good action here, guys. There's the Q. Here's the SPY. We're going to zoom in here as close as we can to see the most short-term action to this on the SPY. There's the SPY movement here. Here's the Q right here at 375.40s. 375.40s. All right, guys. 15 seconds. 15 seconds. Again, 0.2% is what's expected. Higher than that is good, or higher than that is bad. Lower than that is good. 0.2% is as expected. Here's the release. Get ready. 5 seconds. 0.2%. And there's the report. Waiting. All right. PPI came in at 0.1%. 0.1% lower than expected for core PPI. Regular PPI came in at 0.1% as well. Core PPI 0.1% versus 0.2% expected. Core regular PPI 0.1% versus 0.2% expected. And let me fix this on the market. And the market is ripping up here. You can see it all the way back up, and now it's pulling back down a little bit. But lower than expected PPI data. Lower than expected. Again, jobless claims came in at 237,000. So jobless claims came in lower than expected as well versus 250,000 expected. Again, 237 versus 250 expected. PPI came in on the year at 0.1%. On the month, it came in at 0.1%. For core PPI, it came in at 0.1%. So it all came in at 0.1% for PPI. Again, lower than expected here, guys. Lower than expected. Market is up. Market is up. Let's see if it holds. Q is up as well. SPY is up as well. You love to see it. Hey, I'm happy it came in low. Market's starting to pull back down a little bit though after this bounce. And again, if you haven't already, if you want to actively day trade and you don't have a lot of equity like I do, you can day trade futures and there's no PDT rule, and you can day trade the S&P. You can day trade the SPY basically in futures. You can day trade the NASDAQ. You can day trade the Dow. You could day trade all these different things, currencies, gold, silver, no PDT in futures. You could day trade in short with no PDT rule. And Top Step is the cheapest barrier of entry, the lowest, cheapest way to get your foot in the door without taking on a lot of risk. And it really is the best of both worlds. So they give you a demo and they test your skill. If you can hit the target on the demo without hitting the max loss, the base one they give you 50K as a demo. If you can hit 3K in profit without losing over 2K, they fund you 50 grand with a 90% split, and you get to keep your first 10K. And so if you make 20K, you get to keep $10,000 of that plus 90% of the last 10K. So you keep 19K for your first 20K withdrawal if you're good enough to pass it. If you're good enough to pass it, you got the best of both worlds. If you're good enough to pass it, you still keep most of the money once you're funded. If you're not good enough to pass it and you fail it, it's only $49 right now for the base combine. The base combine is $49. It's only like that for the next 4 days. It's the cheapest sale they've ever had, and it's just a really reasonable thing. Top Step's been around for over 10 years. They pay out millions every year to their funded traders in actual withdrawals. So traders are withdrawing millions from them a year. They're funding thousands of traders. It's the most legit futures funded program in the world. And the patterns in futures are very similar to stocks. Very similar to stocks. And so if you want to check it out, here is the link. They are a sponsor of mine. I'm certainly biased in their favor. But yeah, the market is mostly flat from this report. It's slightly green. It's gone up a little bit, but it's not like a huge green move so far. Same thing on the Q. And again, I think the market was just up so much already where, we've had just a really big upward surge in market activity. And so, it's not a surprise that we're not flying off the shelves with market sales, with market buys. But we'll see. Disney's green. We dead bought Disney. And so we're probably going to sit tight in this and see if it pushes up some more. We talked about jobless claims. Again, jobless claims came in at 237K versus 250K expected. We already talked about that. We already reported on it. I'm going to put all these numbers up. .1%. All right, so PPI. All right, here, I'm going to put this data up on screen so you can see it. But yeah, we already talked about jobless claims. All of this was good for economic strength, right? So CPI coming in low, that's good for economic strength. PPI coming in low, that's good for economic strength. PPI coming in high, or jobless claims coming in low, that's good for economic strength as well. So it all is good for economic strength. Jobless claims came in. PPI, core PPI. Yeah, so PPI came in at 0.1%. We'll put this up on screen. Jobless claims came in at 237,000 versus 250K expected. And again, we cover this data quickly. Thousands of people tune in because we cover it fast. And so hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet, guys. We appreciate it. So there's no maximum deadline, Jeffrey, but you have to have at least 4 trading days done before you get funded. Thanks for always hosting a morning show on breaking news. Thank you, Electrical Trade. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you, man. What's a combine? The combine is basically a challenge. It's a funded account program. And honestly, taking the Top Step challenge genuinely builds you into a better trader. Hey, we are up on our Disney trade. We're going to lock in some more profit here because we can. So we just locked in some more profit on Disney. You love to see it. We'll keep rolling that up. Yeah, so PPI came in light here, guys. Came in light. That's good. Market's starting to turn a little bit, though. Yeah, so market actually corrected on the downside some here. But again, the market's just up a lot. It's the thing to consider. Like, the market's up a ton. And so it's not like a shock to see the market not fly from this data. Again, CPI pushed the market up a lot. The SPY's still at 447s, guys. 447s. I don't think the Fed will keep raising rates. I think they're going to raise rates at least next meeting. I think on the 26th of this month, the next FOMC meeting, I think they're probably going to raise rates. And we can look at the CME watch tool to see what the probabilities are looking like in that regard. But I think it's pretty likely they're going to raise rates. And I think most people agree with this. Yeah, so 92.4% of people think they're still going to raise rates, despite this latest string of economic inflation data coming in low for CPI inflation and PPI inflation. But still 92.5% still think we're going to raise rates. And I think that's pretty probable. Hey, nice hollow. Thank you, man. I appreciate the support, brother. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. 4 months of consecutive deflation. Yeah, for sure. Market's still dipping down, guys. Look at this market drop. No, I'm buying Disney, man. Yeah, I'm buying Disney. I've been buying Disney. We already rode the bounce and took some off here. Just locked in a little bit more, to be honest. We'll see if it holds. Yeah, I already bought Disney, took profit yesterday, bought it again after that latest dip in pre-market down in the previous closing price. Average currently is 90.6 on the last bit, so we just locked in some more profit and took profit at 90 high 90s. So again, we bought the dip, made money on this latest trade too. Horrible news. Inflation is down. Let me sell everything. Honestly, that's what the bears are going to say. Like, the bears usually are funny. It's like every inflationary report, they'll be like, yeah, the market's going to crash from this. Just watch. You know, and then it's like the market, and then the inflation data comes in good. And then a lot of the time they'll isolate like the one, like there's core CPI month over month, year over year, regular CPI month over month, year over year. Usually one of them is down, you know, or one of them is higher or whatever. And they'll isolate that one and be like, oh, the rest of the 90% or, you know, 3 out of 4 of these were good, but one of them was bad. And that's bad. That's terrible for markets, they'll say. But honestly, this is all pretty good. Jobless claims coming in low. That's good for economic growth. Inflation data coming in low. That's good for inflation. Core PPI is down relative to last month, or down relative to expectations, neutral over the last month. Year over year, it's down versus expectations and down relative to last time. Regular PPI is way down year over year relative to last time at 0.9% last time. Now it's at 0.1%, and they expected 0.4%. So PPI was much lower than expected here. And then on the month, it's a little bit higher than last month for regular base PPI, but it's still lower than expected at 0.1%. So all around, this is pretty good numbers. Again, the market's probably not shooting up because the market's already up a ton. I mean, if we look at a daily chart, you know, here's a daily chart. This is a daily chart over the last year. So here is this year in 2023. That is a crazy big run for stocks over the last year. At this point in time, we've just up so much already. And so despite good economic data coming out over the last month, again, there might be it might just be less strong, I guess is the best way to put it, because it's just up so much already. But again, let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think they'll do at the next rate hike decision? I think they'll probably still raise, but let me know what you guys think. Society doesn't hate short sellers. The only people that really hate short sellers are meme stock traders like AMC and GameStop traders who are like, you know, getting their pitchforks out for the hedge funds. You know what I mean? Everybody else is okay with shorts. We need shorts in everything. Shorts add liquidity and volume. You know, if you're confident about your own position, you don't really mind shorts. The only people that really have it out for shorts are people who lost a bunch of money in AMC and GameStop, but they didn't lose money from short sellers. They lost money from big influencers telling them that AMC was some whale play that was going to go up to thousands per share, which it's obviously not. Like, it never was. That's why they lost money. But instead of to do mental gymnastics to go away from blaming their favorite influencers that are telling them to buy AMC, they instead find a way to blame somebody else outside of them. You know, is kind of what happens. You know, will we raise rates next month? Good question. I'm gonna end this poll. We got about 2,000 votes, a little bit less than that maybe. But yeah, we're going to do another poll now with the low CPI inflation data release. Does the Fed raise rates in 2 weeks? Yes or no? Vote on that poll. Yes or no? Does the Fed raise rates in the next 2 weeks? Let me know what you guys think. We're also going to get ready to trade some futures, right? So we're going to, again, check out Moomoo. You can get up to 16 free stocks if you sign up to Moomoo. Great news. They have their paperfolio section, which allows you to track what other traders are trading and doing, see why they're up, see how much they're up on the month, year, day, all that good stuff. And then you can kind of see what they're doing. You can follow different traders who are up big and see what their percentages are pulled directly from the platform. Zero commission stock trades, open the entire pre-market session. Great news, scanners, all that good stuff. Great platform. I moved from Toss over to Moomoo. They are a sponsor of mine, but again, you deposit over 100, you get 5 free stocks. You deposit over 1,000, you get 15 free stocks. You deposit over 5K, you get 16 free stocks with either a free share of Google or Tesla plus the last 15. And so again, you can check out the link pinned at the top of the chat if you want to check them out. We are going to get ready to trade some futures today, and we're still going to watch stocks as well. So don't worry, we're still going to be watching stuff. Yeah, we're going to pivot to maybe trading the S&P, the E-mini, all that good stuff in futures. Bear with me. Pun intended, I guess. Apple, let's see what Apple's doing today. I haven't been watching Apple. Apple is up again today as well, up with basically everything else because of the inflation data. Looks like the market's starting to head back up too. Q is up, SPY is back up. So market's rebounding a little bit from these economic reports. Give me a second, guys. We are making sure we are in the right thing here. Hold on. No, I don't want that one. I want this one, maybe. Okay. There we go. That's the one I want. All right. So we are ready to trade here's the E-mini. And again, so this is the S&P 500. Rebounding from the report. Here's the report coming out here. We have bounced all the way back up. So again, we'll see if we get some good action here today. You see the support I drew yesterday. There's Tesla on the right. Tesla is pushing up some. Still moving up some. Humans love bubbles too, Lamania. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Alexis? Carvana is done. Yeah, Carvana's had a pretty crazy run. Rates should be raised. Yeah, I think we should raise rates too, but I think, again, what Jerome Powell said, and this could always change, but what Jerome Powell said during the last Fed meeting, Jerome Powell said, hey, thank you guys for the follows on Twitter. I appreciate the love and support. Thank you guys so much. Again, if you can follow me on Twitter, here's the Twitter link. It's Beginner Trades is our handle, at Beginner Trades. Yeah, it's producer inflation. Yeah, so that's basically it. But yeah, there's the link right there, twitter.com/beginner trades. Give your boy a follow here. We're trying to grow that Twitter page up. We might create a Threads page too, but I wish Threads would allow me to have a desktop application. It's kind of crazy that they don't. I think that's a big miss on their end because I think a lot of people use Twitter on desktop. So for Threads not to have a desktop like page that you can use it and manage it on is kind of crazy. AMC YouTubers, yeah, got retail believing they can outsmart Wall Street 100%. Well, again, what I always say, nobody cries manipulation more than people who are losing big money long term, right? And so some of the stocks that you'll see people cry manipulation on are the worst companies to invest in, like Mullen. There's just a lot of these up and coming EV plays that are just garbage. Like Mullen, nobody wants to buy a Mullen vehicle is the problem, right? Like the only people that really know about Mullen are stock traders, right? They're the only people that would ever consider buying one. Nobody else would. Mullen doesn't have an established niche. And so there's a reason it's 30 cents a share or whatever it is. But, if you look at social media, a lot of the time, you'll see a bunch of Mullen bag holders saying manipulation, guys, Mullen manipulation. It's like, no, Mullen's just a garbage company that's never going to succeed long term. Best case scenario is it gets bought out by a big EV company. But Mullen as a standalone vehicle company is never going to succeed. And I think that's a very self-evident thing. But again, nobody cries manipulation more than somebody sitting on a bag of losses on a stock, And that's essentially what happens with a lot of these companies that, big YouTubers tell them to buy, tell them it's going to hit thousands per share and the market cap's going to be larger than Apple. And then when they're wrong, they point the finger at like hedge funds or manipulation or whatever it is. But like, they're just upset they lost. That's really what it is. They're just mad they lost. Okay, yeah. Did anybody see, maybe that candle was just on my end. Tesla started to bounce back up. It's at 274s. Hey, what's up, Brandon? Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, all good. Meta going crazy, man. Meta's flying up, man, after the Threads release. Yeah, that's probably what's gonna happen. That's my guess is that Mullen's gonna get bought out by one of the big boys when they're on the brink of failure. But again, like confirmation bias is so prevalent in stock trading, you know. So it's like if you're holding thousands of dollars worth of something, like you want it to go up, and so your bias is that it's strong because that confirms what you want to happen with confirmation bias. That's so prevalent in trading. And a lot of young retail traders just don't understand what's going on. Like they don't understand that they're getting talked into buying crap and that it's not really the hedge funds just picking on these companies, that these companies are just not viable companies for the most part, that go public way too soon before they really have that much interest, and then they struggle, and then, you know, a lot of these companies are just pumping them up, selling, and then making millions of dollars by pumping their own stock up, understanding it's not going to hold, and then selling, and then riding off into the sunset with it, and leaving retail sitting on those losses. That's what's happening a lot of time. We also have bank earnings tomorrow. That's going to be a really big thing tomorrow with banks. Bank earnings, and then over the next couple months, we've got over the next month or so, we've got bank earnings, and we also have AI earnings. We've got C3 AI, we got Microsoft, we've got Tesla, we've got a bunch of different AI plays that are big right now. And we're going to see whether these big runs in AI are justifiable during the next earnings season. That's going to be a big story too. And again, we're going to stream all the major earnings calls. And so all the big ones we're going to be streaming here, guys. So if you haven't already subscribed, we certainly appreciate it. Again, do me a favor, subscribe. Help me hit 111,000 subs. We're so close. We're so close. Everybody right now, I'm talking to you right there at home. If you haven't already, guys, subscribe. You know you want to. Try it one time. It might feel good. Do it now. I appreciate it. E-mini pulling back a little bit. I might buy this dip small. We're going to maybe buy one or two contracts small here. We got a bunch of different Top Step accounts because, again, Top Step's got their cheapest sale ever. It's $49 for the life of your subscription if you sign up. And so I've got a bunch of accounts right now, and we're just going to swing in a bunch of these different ones and work on getting funded over the next couple weeks is the plan. And so, again, if you want to check out Top Step, it really is like people underestimate how much this helps traders learn how to trade. Like having some pressure on you in these funded account programs is so useful for learning how to trade. When I first got started trading, again, I lost thousands of dollars in like a month. You know, thousands in a month. I was disheartened. I almost cried. I was super bummed out. There's a way to not lose that much money in the beginning. You know, like these funded account programs are useful. People hate on them, but like they're very useful because it allows you for $50 basically right now. You can have some pressure on you to succeed. It teaches you how to trade under pressure. It teaches you how to build a system by following their rules. You know, I know I'm sponsored by them and I'm biased, of course. I'm biased because they pay me money, but it really does teach you how to follow rules, and it teaches you how to learn how to trade under pressure, but it's not the full extent of pressure here. I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Yeah, just big pullback. We're going to have to wait for the chop to break out, but it teaches you how to trade under pressure, where you learn how to condition yourself through repetition, which is what you need to do if you want to be profitable, is condition yourself through repetition to trade. And they give you a demo. They test your skill. If you can pass it, they fund you between 50K up to 150K. So again, check them out. Again, I'm biased, of course. Like I said, I'll say it over and over again because I try to be transparent, but genuinely useful, I think. I believe that's true, but you want to check with them, man. I'm not 100% on how many accounts you can have. Bed Bath & Beyond bag holders think a catalyst is coming. Yeah, I don't think Bed Bath & Beyond is ever going to succeed again. The problem with Bed Bath & Beyond is simple. Have you guys ever been to a Bed Bath & Beyond recently? Have y'all been to a BBBY recently? I'll tell you this, it's a ghost town in there. Nobody's there. You know why? Is because you could buy everything at Bed Bath & Beyond at Amazon right now, get it delivered to your door in less than 24 hours. And so why is Bed Bath & Beyond, why is anybody going to go there anymore? Nobody's ever there when I go. My wife loves the store, but at this point, she's buying stuff on Amazon nowadays anyway. And so, again, the natural evolution of technology has rendered Bed Bath & Beyond obsolete. It's just not a viable company anymore. It's never going to be able to do anything to change that, in my opinion. I think it's just done. And so you could sit in Bed Bath & Beyond hoping for some squeeze catalyst from everybody betting against it because it's so weak. You can hope that Cohen comes out with some pump, and maybe that happens. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, because that could happen. I'll tell you this, it's never going to hold if it does. And so y'all can make your own decisions on whether y'all want to take that risk in BBBY. But again, as a company, it's just not viable anymore. I think that's an obvious thing, but maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am there. I mean, if GameStop showed you anything, it's that these parabolic short squeezes can happen, and they typically happen on failing companies like GameStop. But it's a low probability bet, in my opinion. And I don't know if the risk is worth the reward. For some people, maybe it's worth it to buy like a small amount of shares that they're okay with losing completely and gambling on whether a squeeze happens there. And that's listen, I'm not gonna personally do it, but it's understandable, I think. Investing in Bed Bath & Beyond like it's a viable long-term company is a different story, and I'm never going to do that because I think that's a sucker's bet. I think a lot of people got trapped in that big pump and dump that happened with Cohen a year or so ago, whenever it was. I can't remember when it was. And so I think a lot of people are sitting in it still from then and just kind of hoping it comes back. But oh wait, didn't Bed Bath & Beyond get delisted and go to pink sheets? What is it, BBBYQ now? Yeah, it is. It's 30 cents a share. Yeah. Risky, guys. I got a couple different ones, Smokey. I've got 50K, 150K. I don't have the 100K though. But it's up to you. Again, to understand me though, guys, like my Moomoo account's got over 25K in it. My Toss account still has over 25K in. And so one of the biggest complaints is people are like, bro, you've been, trying Top Step for months and still haven't gotten funded. And it's like, yeah, but I'm already funded. Like, so my sense of urgency there is not like, they're a sponsor of mine and they're great. And I think they're incredibly useful. But I don't think that's a reasonable criticism for me. I always tell people I'm better at swing trading anyway. I have no qualms about admitting that. And again, the easiest way to put it is I'm green in Toss in 2023. I'm green in Moomoo in 2023. And if I lied about that, I'd get in trouble. So I'm not lying about that. Like I'm green in my trading for 2023, and I'm green in my trading on Moomoo for 2023 as well. Yeah, I covered the pump and dump when it happened for Bed Bath & Beyond. It was crazy, bro. It squeezed up big. I was covering it right there. We streamed a lot of it too. But we got out where we should have, if I remember correctly. Most of them have a consistency rule though, Sam. And so it's not just Top Step. Like that's a large majority of them. And the reason they do it is obvious. I mean, they're going to need to do that because if not, think about it like this, right? If you're actually funding people money and you want to make sure the people you're funding are actually profitable traders, right? How are you going to stop them from just buying a bunch of accounts, taking the largest size possible and just, 1 out of 3 times you're going to hit, you're going to hit it. And that doesn't truly mean you're profitable. You know what I mean? And then at that point in time, you're funding people who are not truly profitable, and that's a big risk for them. And so in that regard, it makes a lot more sense to make sure they're truly profitable. Like you can still get funded if you make over 30% in a day, but they're going to make you make a little bit extra to make sure that you're actually profitable is what it is. Q is surging up right now. Look at the E-mini popping back up. Pretty sideways action here. And so I'm not taking any trades yet. But John does not lie. I definitely lie sometimes. Everybody lies. If I said I didn't lie, that would be a lie. I try to stay honest. That's the best I could say. I try to be honest, and I do my best. I try to tell people the truth as much as I can. Here's an example. When we went to Florida, I told people I was in Miami, when in reality I wasn't in Miami. I just don't want people to know where I am. And so I lie, but I try to be honest about trading. Yeah, but I bet she is mad, V. So if I purchase Top Step, I have to make 30% a day? No. No, that's not the rule. Loving Fubo. I actually have Fubo as a service. So I actually have Fubo as a service. Fubo is nice. It's got all the sports. Fubo is good for sports. Like I got the sports package. I ditched Comcast a year or two ago for streaming cable instead of paying Comcast $300 a month or whatever it was. I instead got Fubo TV, Hulu TV, Netflix, Amazon Prime, and HBO Max. And those 5 streaming services give me more content than Comcast ever did, and it's about 50% of the cost of Comcast. And so I think, again, I've said this before, and again, I'll say it again. I think cable companies like Comcast, like AT&T, like Verizon are going to struggle over the next 5 to 10 years, because I think their margins are going to go down because people are going to opt into no contract-based phone carriers and services, no contract-based cable services, and streaming apps. I think those 3 things, I think they might come out with their own no contract pay-per-go, whatever phone service. They might come out with their own no contract stuff, but their margins are going to be drastically lowered from that. And I think that's bad for them. I think the rise of these streaming services is going to eat their lunch, and they're just not going to have as good of margins as they used to. And I think you'll see some corrections in AT&T and Verizon and Comcast especially, because I think people are PO'd at Comcast business model. And understandably so. I freaking hate Comcast. It felt so good to cancel them. Yeah, but I think other options for internet, like I now have an internet option. He said they won't struggle. They said they won't struggle. They'll just charge you more for internet and deliver all the streaming apps. I know for me, I have fiber optic internet. That's $90 a month, no contract, and it's not Comcast. And so I think you're going to see a rise of internet companies that compete with Comcast locally as well. I have one. And I get 1,000 up, 1,000 down, $90 a month, no contract. And I think Starlink is going to be another option that's much cheaper than Comcast as well. I think you're going to see a rise of that also. And so I think that's bad for Comcast too. I don't have any positions in AMC or GameStop, but John, don't you think those would have run higher if the platforms didn't remove the buy button instead of halting? Maybe. That's probably true. If Robinhood and other platforms didn't restrict selling or restrict buying and only allow selling, they could have run higher. But again, that's all said and done. And again, I think they were protecting the big banks. I think Robinhood was very clearly protecting their interest in big banks, and I think they paid for it too. I think they lost a lot of retail support from it, and they're only just now starting to get some type of relevancy back, I think. But I think at a certain point, you have to understand that regardless of whether there is some interest in protecting the banks and hedge funds, I think that AMC is never going to hit $1,000 a share. And I think there's been so many conspiracy theories that come out regarding them every freaking day. I see them on Twitter, on YouTube. AMC is going to go up to $3,000 in the next few months because of this, they'll find all these justifications, which to experienced traders, they look silly. Anybody can take some numbers and twist it around and make it seem all crazy and sketchy and trick a bunch of retail traders into bag holding a losing, depreciating asset. Anybody could do that. Most of them are just trying to grow a following. But again, I think at a certain point, you got to call a spade a spade. And, the people who said AMC was risky years ago were right, me included. And a lot of the big YouTubers now that don't even talk about AMC that told you it was going to go up to $1,000 a share were obviously wrong. Yeah, Pepsi earnings came out super early. Yeah, satellites are good. If you could only trade one stock, what would you choose? Day trading or just investing? You mean like actually trade or investing? If it's investing, it'd probably be like Apple or Amazon or something like that. If it was for short-term trading, it would probably be like the SPY or the E-mini, maybe the NASDAQ. Depends. Yeah, Google. There's some good options. Yeah, Pepsi had good earnings. We covered those earlier too. Pepsi earnings are right here. They did 209 EPS, beat the 196 estimate. Sales of 22.32, beat the 21.73 billion estimate. They also raised their guidance as well, so it's pretty solid. Yeah, Comcast is terrible. Again, I've said the story before. I freaking hate Comcast, dude. Like, Comcast is like if I had to pick a company that I hate the most, it's Comcast, almost certainly. I have been tricked, trapped, lied to by Comcast so much that I just hate them with a passion. Comcast's problem is that they pay their customer service reps commissions, and their sales agents is what they call them, commissions for signups, right? And then they don't actually vet what they're telling people, like if they're lying to people or not. And so the CSR reps will just straight up lie to you about price. They're either going to lie to you or they're going to be incredibly misleading about the actual price that you're going to pay every month. And then they'll lock you into it. I had one guy that was like, hey, it'll be $140 flat a month. I said, okay, great, sign me up. And so I signed up. I said, with fees included? Yeah, with fees included, $140. Okay, great. I got my bill the next month. My bill was $300. I call Comcast. I'm like, yo, what happened? You said $140 a month. They straight up denied that they ever told me that. And like, I was a CSR rep 15 years ago. I know they record freaking everything. Right? So I was like, hey, why don't you go back and listen to the conversation that this guy told me? He told me it'd be $140 flat every month. And they basically just denied it. They just straight up lied about it. And then they got weird with me for even questioning it. Right? That aspect of Comcast makes them incredibly sleazy. And again, they pay their customer service reps commission. And so they have if there's no proving that they lied to you, they could just lie to all their customers. And I know they do. They just lied to them. You can't really prove it. They never admit it. Once they lock you in, that's it. They'll keep charging you. And I think that's a terrible business model. That's incredibly greedy. And because of that, most of the time they have a monopoly in the area too. And so, you can't even switch if you want to a lot of the time. But again, I think that's going to change. I use Quant Tower. This is Quant Tower right here. And this is my favorite one out of all of them. I've tried TradingView. I've tried Trade Evade. But Quant Tower is the best one for sure. For me personally. It's just the easiest one to use. All right. So again, tomorrow we have earnings coming out for a lot of these big companies. We got Michigan consumer sentiment and expectations, as well as import-export prices tomorrow. But the big stuff tomorrow is the earnings reports. So we got a lot of big earnings dropping tomorrow too. Again, tomorrow for earnings, we have we've got Delta. Or no. Today we had Delta, Pepsi, Progressive. Tomorrow we have JP Morgan, United Health, Citigroup, Wells Fargo, BLK, State Street, and Ericsson. So a bunch of big earnings. We also have Game tomorrow, Shift, Pixie, Engine Gaming, and a couple other ones. But that sparks off a pretty quiet week until next Wednesday. No. We actually have some more earnings coming out. So next week, on Monday the 17th, we have FB Financial, CrossFirst, and Equity Lifestyle. Tuesday, we've got Bank of America, Schwab, Morgan Stanley, Lockheed Martin, PNC, Bank of New York, Prologis, Mercantile, Synchrony, Novartis, and Cambridge Bancorp. So a bunch of bank earnings back on Tuesday of next week as well. We have Interactive Brokers, IB, on Tuesday evening, JB Hunt, Pinnacle, United Health, Hancock Whitney. And then Wednesday, the big ones come out. So Wednesday is when earnings season truly starts, aside from banks, with Goldman Sachs in the morning, M&T Bank, ASML, Halliburton, U.S. Bancorp, Baker Hughes, NASDAQ, Ally Financial, Citizens Commerce in the morning. That's all in the morning. In the evening is the big boys. Tesla, Netflix, Wednesday evening. We're going to be covering Tesla's earnings call, stream the entire thing live as it happens, as well as cover all the other ones with Netflix and UAL dropping theirs. And then Thursday, we got Johnson & Johnson in the morning, American Airlines, Blackstone, Nokia, Philip Morris, and a bunch of other ones in the morning. And then in the evening on Thursday of next week, we've got Intuitive, PPG, CSX, Metro, Bank, Capital One, and a couple other ones. And then Monday, the next week, we get a bunch of other big ones too with, let me see, Tuesday with Verizon, General Motors, General Electric, Spotify, Tuesday morning, and then Microsoft, Visa, Snapchat, Tuesday evening of the week after. What other economic data do we have next week dropping? So we had CPI, PPI this week. Let's see what we got. So next week we have Monday, light, what economic data? Retail sales next week on Tuesday. So Tuesday we have retail sales and then Canadian CPI and then industrial production numbers. Wednesday next week we got European CPI dropping. Building permits and housing starts Wednesday. Thursday we have the Philly Fed index and jobless claims and then existing home sales. And then Friday, we don't really have anything. So next week's a lighter week for economic data, but we do have earnings next week. The week after that is when we get more economic data, I'm pretty sure. We got manufacturing and services PMI on Monday, the 24th. Tuesday, we have CB consumer confidence. Wednesday, we have new home sales. And then the rate hike decision is the week after that. So a busy few weeks with earnings. GDP data drops the 27th too. So the busiest week soon. Next week we got Tesla earnings. Bank earnings are tomorrow. Market's pulling back a little bit too. We'll see if we get a dip, but we're mostly flat. I'm not really trading here. But yeah, so the busy week. Next week we got earnings in the morning, and then Wednesday Tesla earnings, and then Thursday. Oh, we got Thursday. I forgot what we had Thursday and Friday next week. Jobless claims Thursdays. So next week's all right. Not super busy. The week after that's going to be really busy with the rate hike decision, big earnings with like Apple, Snapchat, Microsoft, and then a bunch of other ones too. So yeah, it'll be a busy month or so with earnings and economic releases coming out. We did get some pullbacks, but still pretty quiet. All right, guys, we got 20 minutes. I'm not sure if it's going to be a smart move to hold Tesla into earnings. Again, I don't know. People ask me all the time what specific stocks are going to do. I really have no idea what any of them are going to do. With that said, should we believe them when we say AMC is a bad investment? Truth is, who really knows? But I'm sure we'll find out. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I think AMC is an okay company. I think it's okay. It might appreciate long term. It might not. I would compare AMC to like a mid cap, which kind of has a big risk, big reward. You know, I think technology could change to where movie theaters, similar to like phone carriers and stuff like that. I think it's very possible that they stick around, but they lose their margins. Like they're not quite as successful as they once were. And so I think that's very possible with movie theaters, as well as like AT&T and Verizon and stuff like that. I think it's very possible that they lose income because of changes in evolution of technology. And I think AMC is very similar too, where I think people are always going to go to movies, but there's been less big movies over the last few years. The movie theater industry has certainly dropped a little bit. It hasn't been as strong as it has historically. And I think that's a very self-evident thing. People might argue against that, but obviously movie theaters have taken a hit over the last 3, 4, 5 years. And so I think they're still going to be around, but I think they might lose margins. But I think AMC is pretty light as well. It depends, like, what's the PE ratio, I guess, is the question. Is AMC even, I don't think AMC is making money, actually, right? Honestly, I just don't agree with how Adam Aaron runs things. He's too sensationalized. He criticizes people who have conspiracy theories. Yet a lot of the AMC community that he has pandered to is propped up on conspiracy theories, and so it's just hypocritical, I think. But yeah, AMC right now, and losing PE ratio. So we'll see. I don't know. Yeah, I think shows have taken a front seat here. I think, and I'm kind of bummed out about it because I freaking love Game of Thrones. I freaking love Yellowstone. Um, I'm just excited for all those, but it's like it takes 2 years in between freaking seasons, bro. Like, and I know every episode's like a little mini movie, but dude, I don't want to wait 2 years to watch the show. By the time Game of Thrones, the new one ends, I'm gonna be like 50. You know, it's a long time to wait to watch my favorite shows. You know, I'd rather the quality be a little bit worse, but like, let's produce a season a year. Let's go back to that standard, please. All right, market's kind of choppy right now. Again, I'm not really trading anything yet. We're just kind of sitting tight. SPY showing bullish flag on 5 minutes. Yeah, maybe, but I think it's so choppy. We don't really know what the market's going to do. We don't know what the SPY is going to do over a 5 minute period. I think it's pretty flat. Big range, but up and down. I do see the flag here. I see it's more of a triangle. It's not really a flag. It's a triangle more so. And I'll draw it out so you can see what I mean. A flag has a pole, right? So a flag would look like this, right? This one doesn't have a pole. And so it's more so a triangle, which looks like this. Right? So it's more so a triangle than a flag, I would say. But still, I see it. It's an ascending triangle. Again, though, I'm just kind of skeptical. I'm just kind of waiting here. Market's flat. I don't want to push too hard where there's low edge. And so I just want to sit. I haven't seen Justified. Yeah, all good, Justin. No worries, man. Appreciate you understanding. Not trying to critique. Just stuff I've learned, you know. Yeah. Carrier pigeons, huh? Yeah, I mean, I'm waiting. I see the triangle pattern. Who knows if it'll continue, though. Yeah, never seen that either, Daniel. I see a flag in both the S&P and the NASDAQ, but again, who knows if it's actually going to hold. I'm not a really big flag trader. Like, I don't really like trading flags or wedges or anything like that. I usually am a trend trader, so I love to just follow the trend. And I think right now the trend's pretty neutral. It's slightly green. It has a higher lows being put in over the last 45 minutes or so, but it's also pre-market, and so we don't really know what we can expect from it. Tesla's starting to move back up a little bit. Apple trying as well here. Pretty green day for everything. And even though we had low PPI data, I think the market's just up so much that we just got to sit. See if we get some good trades at the open. And again, we are going to be day trading on Top Step today. We still have about 10 minutes left. Yeah, to pass it in 4 days, you're going to have to take bigger risks, of course. So it depends on what your plan is. You can either buy a bunch of accounts and then take the big risk in each one and try to get funded, or you can take slow and steady approach, which will probably have a higher accuracy rate of getting funded, but it's going to take longer. Either way is fine. It's just personal preference, I think, with getting funded on Top Step. What I will say is that if you're going to go the route where you just kind of swing big and get multiple accounts, if you do so, the time to do it is between now and before Sunday, because Sunday the sale ends, and I'm not sure what the prices are going to go up to after that, but I know right now they're $49, and that's the cheapest I've ever seen them, and I doubt they're going to stay that way. I think the prices are going to go up after the 16th. And so if you ever thought about buying Top Step, or you want to take that approach where you just kind of swing big, again, make sure to follow their rules and watch it that way. But again, I think I am biased. They are a sponsor of mine. But you can check it out there. What happened to the trash, John? I ended up going to the dump yesterday. I just drove to the dump. It was like $75 to dump it. And I drove to the dump, got to throw all the trash away, and came home. We've actually been thinking about getting a Tesla. Somebody talked me in or out of it. I don't want a Plaid because I don't think Carol could actually safely drive a Plaid. But I do want one that has autonomous driving. I want one that drives itself. I know that's certainly something we want because that trip took it out of us. I think if the Tesla's driving itself, it'd be a lot easier. But what's a good one? I don't want the Plaid. I don't want to spend another $130K on a sports car. But what's a good middle ground that's still very fast for me, still has autonomous driving? You know, my neighbor has a Rivian, and so I've looked at those two. Those are kind of cool. What did the Model 3 run quarter mile? .11.5 seconds. It's still incredibly fast, man. Yeah, that might be the one. What does it look like? Still pretty. Same thing as the Plaid. Okay, I see. And there is a sedan too. Yeah, market is very stagnant over the last couple of minutes, guys. If you look at the market go like this, just be careful. This is the SPY, basically, of the last 10 minutes. It's going up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Be careful. I haven't even looked at chat, but I know Chris Frazier's probably going to be like, don't do it. And that's all good. Let me see. Did Chris tell me not to? Yeah. John sitting in the backseat while his car driving a baby, bro. There he is. Yeah, the Rivians were actually pretty, man. My neighbors got one. They were actually cool looking. Hey, what's up, Ace? All right, so we're starting to get a little bounce back up towards the top of the range here. Everything else is kind of bouncing up with us in markets. Still got 5 minutes here. 5 minutes, team. Very stagnant price action ahead of the opening bell. So again, we got like 4 minutes, guys. Just be careful. Disney popping back up. Coca-Cola popping back up. I mean, this looks much stronger here. We might take one dip buy here. If we get a little pullback now, we might take the dip. The flag might look to be working here. Again, I'm not the biggest flag trader, though, but hey, if it works, it works. Can't knock it if it works, you know. So still moving up a little bit. All right, so again, testing the top of that triangle pattern. Disney bouncing back up a little bit. I have to look at everything else. I think I'm pretty flat in Momo. Yeah. All right, good. How you guys doing this week? Green or red? Green or red? Yeah, I don't want a Polestar though, brother. Polestar is just not established enough. They're just not established enough, man. Wait. Yeah, so we're starting to push the top. Yeah, like I just don't want anything like the Polestar's cool. I'm not saying they're bad. I've seen Polestars in the area, but like I don't want I want something that has like established support. And I don't think Polestar is that. I don't want one of these up and coming EV brands because I don't want to be Clark Griswold in National Lampoon's Vacation. I don't want to be driving off in something that doesn't have any support. That, you know what I mean? Like, and I think that's how I'd feel. We are starting to get a push though. Tesla popping up, E-mini pushing up. I should have bought it. I almost bought it, man. It's all good. Put my play button a little bit closer here. We'll put this thing right here. Problem is gonna fall over, but maybe I can position it there so it doesn't. There we go. Hopefully I won't bump into it. See the beautiful play button. Sobs, man, it's been so long since I've seen a sob. Yeah, looses are pretty cool. What do you mean $7,500 tax credit? Do you mean I pay $7,500 less in taxes, or do you mean I get it $7,500 cheaper? All right, so less than a minute, guys. Less than a minute. Yeah, they're probably more prevalent overseas, I bet. All right, here's the open. Here's the opening bell. We got the E-mini pulling back down here. I'm really tempted to buy. I mean, this looks like a buy pattern. But again, the opening bell is volatile and doesn't necessarily make sense sometimes. So Tesla flushing down at the open. Yeah, I'm gonna move this. This is just not. Yeah, there we go. I feel like I'm gonna knock it down. You get it 75 cheaper. All right, big flush down here, guys. Big breakdown. So maybe it's a good thing I didn't buy. There's Tesla. Tesla is trying. Apple is flushing down too. I'm going to short this. It's a little bit early to short, and maybe there's risks here. And it looks like there might be. We bounced back a lot of that range already, which is making me nervous. That was my dumb self buying right at the opening bell. Yeah, we're down a little bit in the 150K combine. We actually broke even yesterday, so we actually made our money back in that one yesterday. But I got to just hands off, I think, for now. Market is running all the way back, correcting from the CPI, PPI. What do you mean tax credit? I'll Google it. Strength coming in for markets, though. Market actually looks pretty strong. I mean, this obviously looks strong, but I think I'm just going to sit tight and wait and see if we get some good trades first. Very volatile movement here. SPY pushing up. Disney actually rebound all the way back up there too. Huge green action and everything now. Big green action here. I got to say, the market looks strong. Apple pop it back. Tesla down a little bit. If we get a little pullback, we'll buy this. See if we get some strength down to that previous opening range high. Take 2 contracts down here. All right, we just made 25, locked it in. We got. All right, so we just made a little bit, about $100, a little bit less maybe. Scalping that move, and it's still popping up some. I didn't want to hold it super long because I just don't trust it. But we made a little bit. What's Meta doing? Meta's back up to the highs at 315. That might drag the market up if it does start to go on like a run. We'll see though. Trying to be as patient as I can with all this stuff. But Meta just broke highs up to 315.20s here. I'm going to put up Meta on the right side of the screen. Look at Meta run right here, guys. That might drag everything else up too. Hey, nice Shepherd. All right, so we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green candles in a row. We'll see if the 6th one is green as well. Meta's still surging up though a lot. Tesla's pretty sideways. Yeah, sorry to hear that, Matt. Again, Meta testing pre-market highs. Pre-market highs 315.70 for Meta. We are up to 315.44 right now. All right, we just broke it. 315.90. Just tapped over it, hitting 316s now for Meta. Am I done with this chart? There we go. Big surge up. Got a little pullback here. I'm not confident enough in buying it yet, though. I just got to wait, I think. Meta with a big pullback now. Very large pullback. All right, so we bounced. So let's see if Meta holds and drags everything else up or down. E-mini pushing up, testing the highs. And Q's popping up finally. All right, so we just broke highs on the E-mini. Meta bouncing back up after pulling back some. Tesla's still testing lows, but bouncing for the most part. So we're mostly just stagnant and sideways for that. Kind of watch. You got a little pullback here still. Being very selective here. We need a larger pullback for me to be interested in buying this now. Might buy one contract of this if it stays a little bit low, so I can. Didn't quite get the buy. One contract though. Slightly green. So we make a pump back up. All right, so we just made about 40 bucks. The goal is to build up a cushion right now. And then once we have a cushion, swing a little bit harder is like what the system entails. So we still got a little bit of time too. And so Meta's still pulling back. It's at about under 315s. Still popping up though, but we're actually still in that range. I want to see if Tesla bounces back up some too. But again, honestly, I'm just kind of waiting for some potential trades to show up here. All right, so again, consolidating here. I want to see if we make another test of this high, but Meta started to dip down is the only question here. I'm watching Meta. That might drag market down. It's heavily weighted enough, and it has a big enough influence, but I'm going to go ahead and buy one contract here. See if we just push up to test the range. Pretty flat from the opening bell. We're up a little bit since the open, but we lost a little bit in pre-market. I was typing. See, I don't mind these down wicks, but again, what I'm worried about is, okay, Meta bounced, and so that's good. But we still break down here. I'm going to let it test the bottom of this range, and then we'll figure it out. No, there's a bounce in there. I could add a little bit to it too if I want to give it a time. If I think it's going to test the top of the channel. But if it breaks the bottom of this range, it's also going to signify like choppiness. So I might not add to it. I might just kind of sit. I do like that. I'm going to add to it now. That retracement all the way back to the top of the range is good. There we go. Bounce. We bounce. Tesla at the bottom of the range, though. Meta's starting to break down here. My instincts tell me to cut a piece at least. But this is the big account. This is the 150K. So like $60 or whatever I lose here is not going to be the end of the world. Meta's starting to flush, though. That makes me nervous. But I like these down wicks, which signify bullish sentiment. Bullish, it means buys coming in. But Meta's starting to really flush, though, is the problem. And Meta's not the biggest, most heavily weighted stock, so the market's still going to be more influenced by other stuff. But I don't necessarily like it. Give me a quick pop over there. Let me take profit. There we go. Took half off there just to protect the trade. And now we can just sit and let it try to rip up some more without as much fear, I guess. All right, so we're flat in this trade. We're giving it time to work. All right, still flat. All right, now we're down a little bit. Again, I'm looking back. I'm happy I took what I did off. Oh, man. See, the risk of multitasking. But no, it's all good. I do like that down wick. I might just jump right back in here. Choppiness right now, and it could be something like where the market is up, but inflation data is good. And so in terms of extension or whatever, just don't have best potential moves. Took half off there, just locked in some profit. I'll let the rest ride, see if we can catch a little bit more. I don't know if it's a good time to enter. Again, I don't know, guys. I really don't know. Everybody asking me whether they should buy or sell anything right now. I really have no idea. I'm never going to say I know either. And so just be smart. I really have no idea what you guys should do there. Be careful. Again, I'm pretty quiet right now in my trading. I'm not really taking any huge risks. I just don't trust the market like that, to be honest. And so the market's been pretty chopped since the open, and I just don't trust it enough to really want to take those risks. You know what I mean? Some days are just not meant for it. It's pretty flat here. We got another. We're up about $50 plus whatever we took profit on earlier. All right, so nice little surge up. We're up about 70. Yeah, about $70 on the trade right now. All right, so we just made about 100 on that trade. I'll take it. Still pretty flat on the day. It says something triggered. Let's see. All right, so we're starting to get a little flush down. I'm also in a NASDAQ trade. I'm gonna go ahead and take some profit there. We just made some money. We were down on the day too, but we got a couple different accounts we were shorting. And also, guys, if you haven't already, again, we are doing this on Top Step. I got like 6, 7 Top Step accounts right now. Our goal is to get funded in the next 2 weeks. If you haven't already, $49 for the base combine. $49, very cheap, very useful. Again, it genuinely teaches you how to trade, and there's no PDT in futures, so you can day trade and short the S&P, the NASDAQ, currencies, gold, silver, and futures without PDT restrictions. And Top Step is the most legit futures funded program in the world. They pay out millions, fund thousands of traders a year. And it's just incredibly useful, guys. Incredibly useful. Again, you can kind of see like my trades. Like a lot of the time, I'm using Top Step, and it's teaching me how to trade. But of course, I'm funded in Moo and Toss, so I don't necessarily need to get funded. But for most people that don't have that equity, it teaches you how to trade. They have free funding coaches. It's $49 a month, and with that $49, they'll give you a demo. They'll test your skill. If you can hit 3K in profit without losing 2K. They fund you 50K with a 90% split, and you get to keep your first $10,000 in profit. So just a lot of reasons to do it. Most people are going to fail, but they would lose much more if they put the money up themselves. And so it's a way to limit your risk in trading. And if you're good enough to pass it, you can get in pretty cheap at $49. You could buy multiple accounts, and it's a monthly charge, yes. But if you get in now, it's $49 for the life of your subscription. And so check it out. They are a sponsor of mine. Great way to help support the channel as well, guys. And so, again, check them out. Another one of my sponsors is a company called Chart Prime. They're a trading view indicator service that you can use in stocks, crypto, Forex, futures, and they are just useful, man. Like, here's the S&P, right? Like, I've been looking at them today on a 1-minute chart. And so here's Chart Prime. And we try to do most of my sponsored plugs at the end. We don't sell a course here. We don't sell a service. We don't claim to be experts. We don't act like gurus. Everything we put out there is free. And so we do have sponsors that we do occasionally, typically towards the end of the stream. I hope that makes sense. But like, look at this, guys. So like, let's check this out for a second. Here's Chart Prime, right? So I'm using these on a 1 minute chart. Just look at how accurate these are today. I can't guarantee you're going to make money, but this is called the Market Oracle Pro. It shows you shorter term price action, and look at how accurate it is. So again, the sell signal came in here. Let me get it a little bit smaller. The sell signal came in here. Look at the drops you get after it. The strong signal came in here. Look at the bounces you get after that. The strong signal on the sell side came in here. Look at the drops you get after that. The strong buy signal came in here. Look at the bounces you get after that. Sell signal here, you get drops after it. Strong sell signal here, or strong buy signal here, you get nice bounces for like an hour. Sell signal here, you get drops down to the next strong signal, which is where you get a bounce. Very accurate in predicting channels, telling you where the top and bottom of the channels are, in my opinion. Very useful. Very useful. And that's called the Market Oracle Pro. I can remove this, and this is mostly for short-term trading. I can put up the E-mini on a 5 minute chart and instead put up the Market Oracle, regular Market Oracle, which shows me longer-term reversals. It shows you longer-term reversals. And so here's the Market Oracle right here. And again, it's just a trading view indicator service. You can use them on stocks, crypto, Forex, futures. Look at the last 2 alerts it gave you. Reversal up. This is a 5 minute chart. So a bounce over the next like 2 or 3 hours after this reversal signal. Reversal down signal here, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 minutes of red action after that reversal signal. And again, you can kind of see the alert fire on Tsla. So I have it where it gives me alerts on the screen. It shows me when the alerts are there. And so again, very cheap. It's $35 a month for this. I think they even have a sale going on right now. So very cheap. And this is just a small piece of what they offer. You can put their oscillator up. You can put smart money concepts up if you like smart money concepts. You could put chart patterns, and it'll show you flags, triangles, wedges, all this different data for $35 a month. It's very cheap. If you're good enough to use it, it'll pay for itself. And just really, really useful, guys. So check it out. Great way to help support the channel here is by checking them out. And yeah, I certainly appreciate it. And so if you want to check them out, I'll post the link. Again, great sponsor of mine. Great sponsor. I'll post this link. Still kind of getting involved trading some stuff here. Having fun. Scalping the NASDAQ on the downside after an alert. We're going to go ahead and cut that. So we're up about 120 on the day scalping NASDAQ. Mostly NASDAQ there. Red on our other account. Never used the lead algo. Yeah, I sell very quickly. You know. Held what? Yeah, again, A1, man, listen. Just a request. Don't pressure people to sell or buy. That's the worst thing. That'll get you banned very quickly in here, man. We've had a lot of people over the years that were just incredibly toxic because they would just get super emotional and like say, sell now, do it now. And then they would be really critical if you didn't. Like, again, that's not the way to be, brother. That's not the way to be, man. Again, just a friendly warning. Don't pressure people. Don't shame people if they miss stuff. Like, it's just not the right way to be, brother. Hope you understand. Spot S&P 52-week high. Are we at the yearly high for the SPY? We're close. We are very close. Hey, Carol. Come here. Hey, baby. All right, sorry, I had to talk to Carol about something. All right, we just got another little short in the NASDAQ. We're up about 190 on this one. I think so, OG, but I'm not 100% sure, brother. Oh, man, you must be the same guy, A1. Man, dude, honestly, we had this guy, man, and honestly, no offense, A1, but you act just like him, where it's like, and this has happened numerous different times, and I'm pretty sure he's had numerous different accounts, right? But what he'll do is he'll be really pressuring. He'll say, buy this, sell this, do it now. If you don't buy this, you're dumb. If you don't sell this, you're dumb, guys. You know, and he'll be really pressuring. And then I'll be like, hey, don't do that. That's not helpful. Like, don't spam. Like, don't pressure people to do stuff. It's bad for them. It's not good for them. Because again, what happens is like, it just causes people to be emotional about trades. You know, and then when I'm like, hey, a friendly warning, please don't do that, they'll switch it to victim mentality. And then they'll all of a sudden be like, oh, well, I'm just never going to say anything ever again. You know, it's like, all right, man, that's cool. You know, the internet's funny, guys. Cheers to you all. Let me take a sip of my coffee real quick. Cheers to you guys. Hopefully you guys are going green today. Oh, I ban people quick. The internet's funny. Tesla 2 days head and shoulders forward, maybe. Again, we're pretty flat. Look at the market. It's just gone choppy. Come to Peru? Hey, maybe one day. If I'm there, I'll holler at you, man. Yeah, cheers to you guys. Again, market's kind of flat. I'm just not really doing much. We're green on one account, red on the other one. We're actually green overall on the day. But I'm not sure, OG. Reach out to them, brother. I'm not sure, man. Crypto is where the games are at with your lottery ticket money. What's lottery ticket money, bro? Do I have a lottery ticket money? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. Let me know, chat, if it's good or bad. Hey, shout out to everybody that gave me a follow on Twitter. Thank you so much. Got a surge of followers. I got to pump my Twitter more. I don't even say anything about it. I'm bummed out it doesn't grow. And then I don't even plug it. Y'all give your boy a follow on Twitter at Beginner Trades, guys. At Beginner Trades. I appreciate it. CPI will be up only from here. This time last year, CPI flatlined for 6 months, meaning the next 6 months will measure year-over-year inflation from a horizontal point. CPI inflation data has dropped pretty consistently for the last 12 months. Every single reading CPI has gone down over a 12-month period. No, I don't really Instagram. I'm just never really used it that much. John London, you're the only stock channel I watch. Thanks. Hey, thank you, Wade. All right, so pretty flat, kind of just hanging out. Disney dropped a little bit, but it is still pretty green on the last few days. Market's starting to flush breakdown, though. All right, guys, and we are going to do a crypto show today. And so again, if you haven't checked out Top Step, check them out. Great way to help support the channel. Great way to learn how to day trade without taking on too much risk. It really is a better way. Like most pro traders don't understand, but so they end up trying to day trade penny stocks or day trade futures or day trade, or no, not day trade futures. I'm sorry. They end up trying to day trade like penny stocks, or they try to day trade with a cash account only going long, and you're just never going to be able to do that, right? Most pro traders trade futures because there's better liquidity in futures than stocks for the most part. You can go long and short. There's no PDT restrictions. You can get instant settlement with a margin account. You can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ currencies. And the cheapest way to do it is a funded account program. So check that out. Link is in the description. I'm going to go ahead and end this stream and start our crypto stream. We do have a crypto stream that's starting right now. It's going to be a pretty quick show on the crypto channel. But we're going to go ahead and start that now. I realized I put the wrong link up in chat yesterday. I did plug the wrong link. But if you do want to check out the crypto channel, it's youtube.com/beginner crypto. We're going to move on over to do a crypto show today. Market's kind of flat after all this stuff, so I'm just not in love with it right now. But yeah, here is the link for the crypto show that we're about to do. If for whatever reason, it should bring you straight there once the stream ends. It should redirect you there completely. But here's the, like, as soon as we close this stream, it should bring you to the crypto stream. If for whatever reason it doesn't, there's the link right there in chat. Check it out. It's youtube.com/beginner crypto. If it doesn't work, both of those. So check that out. And yeah, I'll see you guys over there. We're going to go and start that stream now. We'll see what the market does. But again, you can see the S&P 500 in front of us now. It's pretty sideways, there's not much it's doing right now. So yeah, team, I will see you guys later. Good luck. Y'all be safe. And again, I'm going to end this stream. It's going to bring you to the crypto stream. So I'll see you guys in a second. And yeah, good luck.